imagine. Better call on your faction. Ready for the curtain call, lights, camera, action.
Big welcome back to the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre. I'm Jen Parry, and we have a special guest star today, Christy Munro. Welcome back to the pool.
Thank you, Jen. Yes, I have been down watching the beach action all week, so very excited to be here for the pool competition for these final 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. Had a look at the program. We've got an exciting lineup of races this morning.
Oh, you've really chosen the best days to come back. Some of our youth athletes have been racing for such a long time, those who are involved in the national teams comp as well. But having a look at the program today, getting to start with that 50 carry, one of the shortest, sharpest, most exciting races on the program.
Yes, it's definitely, well, it wasn't necessarily a favourite of mine. I was never fast enough for the 50 carry, but I love the speed and the explosiveness that we will see in these heats this morning. Obviously, the aim is to qualify through to the A and B finals, which will be part of our finals package this afternoon, starting around 1 o'clock. There's a list of the events that we'll be bringing to you this morning. The 50-metre mannequin carry for men and women, the 25-metre mannequin relay for men and women. We've got the 200 Super Lifesaver. That's a really exciting event to look forward to on the program, and finishing off with the 50 medley relay.
Yep, I really love, Christy, that they've front-loaded the program. We had a massive day yesterday, OBS relay, line throw, 100 tow as well. It means that if we get through all of these big events today, tomorrow we just get to really sit back, relax, enjoy those last few days of racing, or those last few events, I should say. And then we all jump in the bus, we head down to Karawa, we do our final medal prezos there, and we will crown an Interclub champion.
Yes, I was listening to some of the chatter out on pool deck this morning, and the athletes are excited about that exact same thing. They know they've got one big day of racing to get through today, a little bit of a lighter program tomorrow, and I think they're really excited to head back down to the beach, join the rest of the club. The Opens are obviously finishing off their beach program down there, and I'm very excited to see how that final club point score plays out.
Always interesting across the youth and the Open. You can see the flags in the breeze there. I can't believe how good the weather has been for nearly 2 full weeks of racing. It's a big swing to have, the pool comps here at an outdoor venue. The Gold Coast Aquatic Centre seems perfect built for an event like this with the warm down areas. Everyone's just been raving about how much they've enjoyed their time here on the Gold Coast.
We have had a beautiful window of weather, just creeping into springtime here in Australia. So our athletes have had quite a grueling training program over those winter months to prepare themselves for these World Championships. But it has just been glorious here on the Gold Coast. We've had wonderful weather at the beach. Also, you can see the sun shining here at the pool venue. So one more day of racing to go, and hopefully everyone who has travelled to visit the Gold Coast has had a really amazing experience and is excited to come back.
Absolutely. Well, it's been since 2018 since we were even able to hold the Youth Championship or the Interclub Championships at all. It's been too long between races, and loving seeing so many of our international friends. We've got so many German, Canadian GB competitors back in the mix, but that looks to be a very Aussie heavy first heat here for the women's 50 carry.
Yes, Heat 1 on the blocks now for the women's 50 mannequin carry. You can see our start list there. As you mentioned, a lot of familiar clubs. We've got one competitor there, Brennan from Mount Maunganui in New Zealand. It isn't. It's one of our other familiar New Zealand clubs. Jasmine Raywood also lining up on screen there for the Burleigh Heads Mowbray Park Surf Lifesaving Club. She had a very heavy program at the beach, but also, as we know, crosses over to compete very well in these pool events.
And wonderful to see her combining with her sister as well in the Australian youth team. So there's so many stories to share about Worlds, and I've received a few hot tips overnight as well in terms of who to watch out for, some relay combos that some of the clubs are excited for. So if you are watching along, drop us a line, get in touch with Christy or I. We'd love to share all of these incredible stories. The girls will be nervous down on the line. First race of the day, first heat is up as well. And if you're following along at home, jump onto liveheats.com. That's where you'll find the draws, the results, everything you could possibly need. So we have in lane 2, we've got Ryan Spence from North Burleigh, Jasmine Raywood, Amy Newton from Northcliffe, Samantha McGrath from Maroochydore. Short, sharp heat to start.
Yes, we've had a few decide not to line up here in this first heat, but plenty of competition. You can see them diving down there for that mannequin pick up at that 25-metre mark. A lot of focus on the kick as they explode into the wall. You can probably describe better than me, Jen, the technique needed just to carry these mannequins in that position.
Well, what we've actually really enjoyed over the last 2 weeks of racing between the youth and the open, especially having the underwater cameras in action now, there's no one perfect way to carry a mannequin, and that is what we love. There's so much room for innovation, for trying new things. Basically, whatever works best for you, try that. Go with that. But for now, Jasmine Raywood, she's figured out what works best for her. 38.38 the first time on the board. And Christy, what was really exciting about the racing yesterday for the youth, and also we had a few instances for the opens, we will have some of our athletes who are very familiar to us. They're very, very quick. They probably came into this comp without having a seeded time entered. So that means we will see a few bolters in these early heats, and then they have a very nervous wait. Jasmine Raywood, will her 38.38 still be enough for an A or B final as we get to the 14th heat of the 50 carry?
Yes, it's a bit different to what I've been experiencing down at the beach for the last couple of days. You can cruise through some of your heats there at the ocean, whereas, as you've mentioned, all based on times of who will go through to those A and B finals. So you really have to lay down a good swim in these heats, which can be tricky to do when you're first up in the program. Having a look here at the start list now for heat number 2.
Yep, here we go. We've got Leah Harangi from Tweed Heads and Coolangatta at the top of the pool there. Bianca Raywood, sister of Jasmine, back in the water now. Wonderful to see her returning. And I'm just going to check the results from last week, because I think she was racing for the Aussie youth team. She did this event. Of course, we can only have 2 per race in the national team, so it is tough. She was second in the B final at the national team's comp, did a time of 38.42. So after a massive workload, really keen to see what Bianca Raywood can put together. Jessica Harkis is in the mix from Woodridge Surf Lifesaving Club in South Africa, and Ashlyn Kennedy, another Tweed Heads and Coolangatta competitor, in the mix. Tweed Heads and Coolangatta, so good in the relays. They're women, just so strong in both the youth and the open.
They've really focused on these pool life-saving events. I know that they've got some great role models and coaches there pulling their team along, and as you mentioned, the youth following in the footsteps of those open competitors, and I would expect we'd see plenty of those caps across the program this morning.
And we can see the girls just heading down now, getting ready for a start. And Christy, what I think you're going to be really impressed with, apart from the incredible athletes that we have gathered here, when it really starts to hum, the officials, the team managers, the competitors working together, these heats are so efficient. The pool setters, you'll see them in action. They'll be getting those mannequins around very, very quickly. And you can see the girls halfway mark already, up and through. We never had this sort of vision when we were racing. This is such a treat and such a great training tool for the athletes to be able to take home and watch again later.
Yes, bringing this live stream to you wherever you are around the world. You're so right, Jen. These athletes can get out of the pool, pop up into the stands with their coaches and re-watch their race about 5 minutes after finishing it. So it is amazing to be able to have this vision, not only if you're not able to join us here at the Aquatic Centre, but whether you are one of the athletes and just want to have a reflect. What did I do well? What could I improve on? It's such a great training tool. And as you mentioned, a lot of different techniques on show here at the World Titles, and there may be some techniques that our Aussie coaches haven't seen before. Mm-hmm. So you can also go back and have a look at how some of our other countries are carrying these mannequins down the pool.
Absolutely. I think there will be some re-watches of specific races. And we see Bianca Raywood comes through 37.80. That's a solid half second quicker than she went in the B final for the national team's results. So the fact that our athletes are turning up again, doing the warm-ups and warm-downs. They must be dead on their feet by now. So wonderful to see these fast times coming through.
Yeah, it just goes to show the work that these athletes have done leading into these World Championships. As you mentioned, a huge program of racing. We're getting towards the end of that program with 2 days of racing to go, but it's so important, isn't it, just with that recovery, not only between each event, but also between each day of racing, because it's not the first day or the second day that you want to be feeling fresh. It's, the second last day of this Aussie program.
This is where the girls need to perform. So top of screen we have Regan Copsey from Maroochydore, Ava Gooderham from Sunshine, Shah Merchant from TH&C, Tara Newton from Northcliffe, and her teammate Tara Schotter in the mix as well. The girls are up and away. Tara Schotter raced for the Junior Blackfins last week. Wonderful to see her in action, and I tell you, some of these youth athletes are really starting to challenge for those open team positions.
Yeah, there's not a lot of difference, is there, between the times of these youth athletes. They're really there knocking on the door. You can see most competitors choosing to take 4, 5 or 6 strokes in between each breath. So a very, very well swum race there from Shah Merchant, finishing in first position with a time of 40.25. So a little bit slower than our first 2 heats.
But still a fantastic performance. And Christy, one of the features that we are loving on live heats is not just that we can show the results immediately as soon as we know, you will know, everybody knows, but they do have a progressive leaderboard. And as we go through the heats, as we start to get more swimmers through, that's where we start to keep an eye on who's in 8th position, what sort of times are we targeting to make that top 16, especially in an event like the 50 carry where there is maybe a second and a half, 2 seconds between those first few positions, or between an A and a B final. It's really tight racing.
That would be a very, very nervous wait if you were one of those athletes on the cusp of the A and the B final. Don't know if it would be worthwhile watching that live update, or if you just best to sit in the stands and wait till they're all finished, because that would be certainly nail biting. So our swimmers just laying down their best time and hoping for the best once we finish the heats of the 50 mannequin program. It looks like 14 heats we have lining up. Yep. Heat 5 just hitting the water now.
Top of the screen we have Ellen Hodgkinson from Clifton in South Australia, Chelsea Simmons from Sunshine Coast Grammar, Emily Remmer from Retford and District, Louisa Brockmeyer from Harsewinkel, Annalise Stein from Vallender, Chloe Turner from Retford, Marley Clark from the Currumbin Beach Vikings, and we just get the names out as the ladies come through. Fantastic work from Marley Clark in lane 8, that is closest to the bottom of your screen. Now it's almost a shame that she has to breathe to her left-hand side there. She's not looking across. She doesn't know where the girls are. But as you said, Christy, this is just head down and go, go, go.
Yeah, a slightly different carry technique that we have seen, as you mentioned, breathing towards the side of the pool. So not quite sure where she had finished until she has crossed the line there. She will take out heat number 5 in a time of 44.07, quite some distance ahead of second place.
Yeah, fantastic work, Marley. The Currumbin Vikings, they were incredible yesterday. We saw some great line throws, some great relays, as well as those individual performances. So do enjoy that the girls are getting it done for themselves here, but when they combine for their team, everyone just lifts that little bit extra.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it, listening to all of the youth athletes talking about those all-important points for their club. They're wearing those club colours with such pride, and even it might not be their preferred or favourite event, but they're lining up and giving it a go in the hopes that they will get a spot in one of those finals to gain some more points.
Absolutely. We see the results pop up there. Marley Clark, 44.0. Annalise Stein from Germany, 47.69. And Chelsea Simmons comes through in a 49.1. And Christy, I do love it. You know, we've spoken a lot over the last few days about these barriers or these milestones that we have in pool lifesaving, getting under that 50-second mark, getting under that 40-second mark. Even Mariah Jones just recently ducked under the 34 mark for these championships. We're loving all these little wins that all of our athletes are having, and as we see those times drop, I'm loving, you just know that there's PBs. You know, it's not just about the world records or the national records. These individual performances that are starting to come through, super exciting.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? And as you mentioned, everyone's got their own barrier that they're trying to get under, their own personal best time. Heat 6 hitting the water now.
We've got Daria Burkhardt from Langenberg at the top of the field, Florence Leclerc from Club d'Entraînement en Sauvetage Sportif, Kyla McClymont from Haasewinkel, Shari Gardner from Met Caloundra, and Mina Lenz from Langenberg. And we were talking before we got online this morning, and I said, it's so wonderful to see so many of our German and Canadian friends coming over for international or just coming for these club championships because they want to be part of something really special here at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre.
Yeah, you mentioned it's been 6 years since we've had the Interclub competition. So a lot of the athletes really, really excited, obviously, for that chance to travel, test their skills, reconnect with some friends, or for our youth athletes, probably for a lot of them, competing here at the World Championships for the first time.
Do love that. And Shari Gardner comes through, Met Caloundra 44.86. It was a massive day for Met Caloundra yesterday, Christy. We had Poppy Stephen come through. She won the 200 obs. She also won the Open Interclub 200 obs as well. She did an incredible time there, backing up to race for her club again here. The girls won the line throw. They were wonderful. Just this pale blue cap with the white and the red stripes. We always talk about the hashtag that they have on their socials. Proud to be Mets. They are everywhere at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre and they're loving being part of the championships. Shari Gardner leading the way.
We would expect to see them feature a lot then in these relays that we've got coming up, combining with some of their amazing teammates that you've just mentioned there. Shari Gardner 44.86 taking the win there in heat number 6.
Yeah, fantastic work, Kyra McClymont, and then our German friends coming through. I would say our Canadian friends, Florence, there in third. But one to watch here in heat number 7, Naisha Shetty racing for India. She did an incredible 100 medley. She was in the B final for India, one of their best performances for the national team's comp. She is going to be in this heat 7 coming up. But from lane 1, Julia Dumont from Canada, Naisha Shetty, watch out for her in lane 3. Carla Drury from Elwood Lifesaving Club, Eleanor Marshall from Drayton Valley, Kira Van Heerden again backing up for Clifton after a massive program for South Africa, and Abby Corrance closest to the bottom of your screen from Retford and District.
So an almost complete international heat here, except for Carla Drury, who is in lane 5. We'll see where they're positioned as they dive down for those mannequins.
A fantastic start from Kira Van Heerden, as you'd expect. She was phenomenal last week. She was in the A final for this event at the national team's comp, 37 high for her. And Naisha Shetty over the top of the screen in lane number 3. And Christy, this is something new that we're seeing as well, the butterfly kick coming into the carry.
Yeah, really interesting technique there, as you said, from Naisha Shetty. Hitting the wall first there, it is Kira Van Heerden from the Clifton Surf Lifesaving Club. Clifton bringing such a strong team of youth and open competitors here to the 2024 World Champions. We have seen them in absolutely everything.
Yep, their beach relays, just phenomenal at Kurrawa.
Absolutely, they were amazing. As well as the beach relays, their youth competitor took out the sprints and flags double.
Yep, gotta love a big double there, and hoisted onto the team's shoulders after the interview. It was fantastic scenes, and Kira Van Heerden showing how it's done here. Naisha Shetty from India in 3. But as you see, Chrissy, those underwater cameras just show, as long as you pick up the mannequin correctly, as long as you're not holding the plugs or anything like that, as long as the mannequin's head is not ahead of your head, you can really do whatever you want to get the mannequin through the water.
And a really fast time there posted from Kira Van Heerden, 37.93, one of the faster times we've seen on the program this morning. So that's heat 7 a complete. Heat 8 hitting the water now.
Katarina McLinksy from Haasewinkel, Eva Chapman from GB, Neela Yankee from Lukenwald, Maggie Drain from New Zealand, Emma Shonrock from Gütersloh, Charlotte Baumer from Wanda, Alison Lavoie from Narvel Sauvetage, and Georgia Mill from Waimārana. Again, so many international competitors here hitting the water, trying to get those times through. And Kira Van Heerden, I think that was the second fastest time of the day that we've seen, 37.9 for her. Really keen to see what these girls can put together in lane 4. I think that's Maggie Drain from New Zealand, looking very, very strong.
She has a narrow lead there at the moment. This is one of the biggest heats we've seen, a full 8 competitors across the pool, and it will be Maggie from the New Zealand club there, hitting the wall in first, time of 42.31.
And great to see Charlotte Balmer coming through. I think she's one of the few competitors that we have here from Wanda. Of course, they've produced some absolute superstars over the years. Wonderful to see Charlotte repping those club colours here. And Wamarana, they have been, for me, I don't want to say a surprise. We know that they've always been strong, but they've really come here to pick up some points at the pool. So Georgia Mill, she hit the wall there, a time of 43.23, but that white, black and red cap of Wamarana, everywhere yesterday. Could not escape it. Didn't want to escape it. The girls really leading the way.
You can see there the start list on your screen for heat number 9 for the women's 50 mannequin carry. We are flying through the heats this morning on the program.
And I warned you, Christy, Wamarana everywhere. Lane number 1, Vivica Herman from Haasawinkel, Erika Orbel from Marangi Bay, Jana Paz from Bietigheim-Bissingen, Aurelie Perron from Canada, Club d'Entraînement en Sauvetage, and Amani Magotsi from South Africa. She's in Clifton Beach. A little bit of drama for Amani yesterday. My heart broke for her. The mannequin turned around in the 100 toe. We've all been there. It hurts. It's the worst. But she'll bounce back. She's a super resilient competitor. Amani, lane 8. We are cheering for you right now. And I also love Clifton Beach have these bright yellow caps. You can pick them from anywhere.
Very easy to see. You can see bottom of the screen there, Amani from Clifton Beach, as the swimmers hit the water in heat number 9.
Heat 9 already. This is what we want to see. And I think we're about to start keeping an eye on that number 8, number 16 position. We're thinking for the, if we use the national teams as a bit of a guide, the girls definitely need to be under that 40-second mark to make an A final. And you've got to think it's probably only 41, 42 to be in the B final.
Yeah, that's right, Jen. We haven't seen too many sneaking under that 40-second barrier in the heats. Certainly would be looking to book their spot in an A final. A close heat here in heat number 9 between the far side of the pool and the middle of the pool. We'll wait to see who gets the touch.
And it's 2 Kiwis in the mix. Erika Orbel, fantastic swim for her, 42.2, and Lucy Kinnear from Wamarana, 43.07. And Chrissy, it seems we do have a lot of people pulling out. We've got a few blank lanes here and there. While it's unfortunate, it's nearly expected after so many days of racing, the attrition will start to increase.
Yeah, I did speak about that as well with some of the athletes on pool deck this morning, some of those who are more surf-accustomed athletes, and just spoke about how gruelling these pool events are. And that's coming from competitors who could do an Ironman, a board, a swim, a ski, but said nothing really compares to the lactic acid that builds up in these pool events. So they are really, really challenging events for our youth athletes, particularly backing up from 3 days at the beach. So exceptional to see them posting some amazing qualifying times in these early heats this morning.
And we can see in lane 1, this looks to be the first full heat maybe of the day. Eliza Parrish from your club, Alexandra Headland, Emily Lyke from Bietigheim-Bissingen, Taylor Tompkins from Sunshine, Anna-Marie Skinder from Pacific in Canada, Claire Cameron in the mix from Sunshine, Ellie D. Etherington from the Vikings, Layla Acknick from Lukenwald, and Zoe McKenna from Mordialloc, closest to the bottom of the screen. And Zoe, speaking of her, fantastic start.
She flew off the blocks there, Zoe McKenna from Mordialloc. Clean pickup from all of the athletes. It's almost 2 races in one. It's a sprint to those mannequins, the pickup, and then the sprint home. It's a real skill to transition that speed into the second 25. Zoe looks like she's being challenged there now by the swimmers in the middle of the field. It might be Claire Cameron from Sunshine Beach who's taken the lead.
Oh, I thought Claire maybe nearly took 1 extra stroke there, but she got the hand to the wall, and I think that can often be misleading. We're used to watching pool swimmers, finish on the wall. They're able to glide. Of course, the athletes now doing the 50 carry, they've got a massive 40-kilo weight attached to them. They don't have the glide. They don't have that opportunity just to have that clean touch on the wall sometimes.
So true, Jen. As soon as you stop kicking or stroking, your speed just goes straight back down to 0. So we'll watch here a little bit closer on that finish. Yeah, 1 extra stroke, but very, very strong on the wall there from Claire Cameron, the Sunshine Beach competitor, locking in a time of 42.07. So low 40s. We'll have to wait to see if that's good enough for our A final.
So looking at the overall leaderboard at the moment, Tara Schotter from Northcliffe, she's currently in 8th position, 41.5 for her, and Charlotte Bowdemer from Wanda is sitting in 16th with a 43. We still do have a few heats to run, so we would expect the girls will change a gear soon. You're going to see the kick increase, you're going to see the stroke rate increase, but keen to see how they respond to the challenge here, because a long way to go. I know it's just a 50-metre carry, but it feels like it's a tough... When you've got the mannequin in your hand, you're hurting. It's a lot. Ruby Simmons from Sunshine Coast Grammar is top of the pool. Elisa Nonnenbroek from Lukenwald, Katharina Hoffins from Norderstedt, Emma Pretz from Vallender, Rose St. Gerland Le Montagne from Canada, and Manya Yami from Norderstedt. The girls are away very, very quickly, and I love the silver cap there. The Canadians, we can pick them from anywhere as well. I think they will be a valuable swapping item come the end of play.
That's always a fun tradition that the athletes look forward to. Yeah, Rose from the Canadian club there getting a fantastic start. Being caught there now by some of our athletes in the middle of the pool.
Yeah, that's Katharina Hoffins from Germany in lane 5, and Ruby Simmons from the top of on the top of the screen. She might come through. It's going to be on the touch. Who's going to be able to time this correctly? And it's very, very close. But Katharina Hoffins from Germany, I think she's going to get there. No, it's Ruby Simmons who comes through with the win. 41.63. Ruby Simmons, top of the screen. Sunshine Coast Grammar School. Her last 10 metres was fantastic.
And very, very important, as we've seen, a lot of competitors bunching up in that low 40s zone. So those fractions of a second, that touch on the wall is going to make all the difference of who will be sneaking into those final positions. Not a lot of competitors sneaking under the 40 seconds, but we do have a whole list of those in the 41 and 42 time zone.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight finish. We have only 3 heats remaining now. We have Sia Tosca Morgan Spear from Bietigheim-Bissingen, and she will be top of the screen in lane number 1. Madison Jones from Currumbin in 3. Watch out for her. Amaya Lopez from Mordialloc. Eleanor Flowers from Trigg. Isla Petherbridge. Phenomenal yesterday, Manas, in the toe. We're going to have to go back. I will find that one. I will show it to you. She was an absolute superstar from Mairangi Bay. Kate McLaren from Waimarana in 7. Courtney Fitzgerald from the Sunshine Coast Pool Lifesaving Club. The nerves would be building on the line for the girls. They know there's only 3 heats to go. This is their one opportunity to put forward a time, make a case for an A or B final.
You can just see the urgency as the swimmers hit the water. Almost at that halfway mark, you'll see them dive down. Some choosing to dive a little bit earlier. Some choosing a bit of a steeper dive down. All athletes having completed that pickup now. We'll try and bring that cap to you. It might be Madison Jones from the Currumbin Surf Club there. Top of the screen.
Amaya Lopez as well, with her head very deep in the water there. It's going to be a touch on the wall. The white cap of Jones. Oh, and Amaya takes an extra quick little stroke there. She gets her hand to the wall. She is racing for Mordialloc. They had a fantastic relay team yesterday. Speaking to Gemma Holt on pool deck, she was so excited to see what they could put together. And Amaya 38.21, Madison 38.5, Eleanor Flowers from Trigg 39.9. So there we go.
Very fast heat.
3 more sub 40-second times on the board. So just to put that in perspective, Amaya Lopez is now 3rd overall with a 38.15. Madison Jones comes into 5th. Eleanor Flowers into 6th. So that 8th position at the moment on the leaderboard, 40.25. You absolutely need to be under 40 seconds to make that A final, probably 38 high once we get through these last 2 races.
Yeah, you were spot on calling that earlier on in the heats, saying a sub 40 is probably the minimum needed to book a spot in the A final. Having a look now at heat 13 of the 50-metre mannequin carry.
And Christy, I mentioned that I got some hot tips overnight. Talking to one of our Maroochydore teammates there in lane 2 for this race, we have Pippi Barlow. She was in the winning OBS relay yesterday. They won. It was wonderful. Interview of the day. But Pippi is actually a beachy. She's here racing. She's a world champion now with her teammates. She's only 15. She got 7th in the flags, 4th in the sprints last week. She is now lining up for a 50 carry. And hot tip is watch out for her in the underwater leg of the medley relay today.
Absolutely did think I recognised that name, Jen, and that would be why. Yes, I saw her flying through in those beach events. We'll see how she lines up here in the 50 mannequin carry for women. She's got a great start
Yeah, good start for her. Also, Indy Bland, her teammate in lane number 7, looks to be nearly first to the mannequin there. But this is a tough heat. Charlie Barber from Newport, Gemma Holt from Mordialloc, Bella Murchie Mordialloc, Freda Mederich from Norderstedt, Emily Fitzgerald as well, looking very, very good on the far side of the pool here in lane 8. So anyone's race at the moment, it's just head down and go from the flags.
Emily Fitzgerald, bottom of the screen, looks to have... Look, that is such a close race. We'll wait for those official results. And it was actually one of our competitors from Germany, I think, getting the touch there.
It's actually 2 of them on the touch, Christy. We've had another dead heat. Frida Mederich from Germany and Indy Bland from Australia, both touching the wall in a time of 38.63. What a race. What a finish. We saw one dead heat yesterday. It was wonderful in the B final. The winners of the B final, they shared that. And let's look at the touch on the wall now. That is 38.63.
Heat number 13 have really blown it out of the water. 6 of the 7 competitors going under that sub 40 seconds. So that's going to really change up that leaderboard as it was standing prior to heat number 13. You can see the results on screen now.
Well, we actually had Frida and Indy on 38.63, Gemma and Bella both on 39.13. So this is how tight it is. And Christy, we've seen a few swim-offs in our day. Could we have one of those coming up soon for A and B final spots? A little bit of drama, but now we are up to the 14th and final heat. Last one, fast one for the girls. Tammy Luna Arnold from Lukenwald, Alyssa Tapper from Northcliffe, Stephanie Staniforth from Bulli, Olivia Tukia from Currumbin, Eve Cervenak of Tugan, Anna McLaren Waimorana, Carolyn Coda from Beatingheim-Bissingen, and Abigail Party-Skinder from Pacific Swim Academy. This is going to be tight. Cannot wait to see this finish.
Another very, very tightly raced field. We'll see. It looks like middle of the pool there, Olivia Turak.
Fantastic race. She's a Kiwi. She races now for Currumbin Vikings. She has got quite the lead on the rest of the field. This is going to be a phenomenal time. Great touch on the wall as well. Ooh, 36.56.
Wow, Olivia Tukia, Currumbin Beach. That would have to be our fastest qualifier coming out of Heat 14. She's put the rest of the field on notice. The only swimmer to be in that 36 bracket.
There you go, 36.56, the only swim of the day. A strong statement for the finals this afternoon. And as we take a look through the qualifications now, we can confirm that A final, it's going to be Olivia Tukia, Bianca Raywood, Kira Van Heerden, Amaya Lopez, Jasmine Raywood, Madison Jones, Frida Mederich and Indy Bland. So with those 2 ladies who tied on 38.63, they were 7th and 8th. No swim off required.
They'll be happy about that. Yes, it's the last thing you would be wanting to do to book a spot. So top 8 there.
And Gemma Holt will lead out the B final with Bella Murchie. They were tied on 39.13. So 2 big starters there for the B final. But Christy, we don't muck around at the pool. The women are done. The 50 carriers done. We are up already. The men are on the line. If you are following along on live heats, you'll see a short heat to start with. Cooper Hudson from Cairns, Harry Irwin from Maroochydore, Darcy Higgins, his teammate, in there as well, and Indigo Evans from Met Caloundra. 4 boys to start us off. Again, I'm predicting some bolters. I'm predicting that these first few heats we're going to see some incredible swims, and then we just have to wait and see, will they make it? Will they be there at the end?
Yes, heat number 1 for the men's 50 mannequin carry. Away now. Closest to screen has probably got the best of the start.
No surprises. Met Caloundra back in the house. Indigo Evans, fantastic swim, down very, very quickly. But Darcy Higgins fast off the bottom of the pool there, Christy. And it's so important when you head down, you really need to plant your feet really solidly, either together or slightly apart, because when you have one leg miss or one leg kick out, you just lose that momentum so quickly.
Yeah, the push-off so important, and it did look like Darcy Higgins got the best of the pickup, which will see him through 34.34 for heat number 1. Tight racing. Now, Jen, are these heats seeded or...
They are seeded based on what entry times have been added in, but a lot of our athletes either haven't raced before or an entry time wasn't submitted. So we even had some pretty crazy scenes where Jimmy Kosh, who raced for Australia last week, Burleigh Heads Mowbray Park this week, he was in the first or second heat for the 200 metre Super Lifesaver, posted a 2:10, way out by himself. After that race, went home, kicked back, just hoped for the best that he would be in the final. He got a solid maybe hour 20 rest compared to those athletes who are in the 14th heat of the Super Lifesaver.
Yeah, wow. That's so interesting. So, yeah, just depending on who's swum these events at a national or international level before, who's got the times posted on the board.
Yeah, it can be really tough, and we have spoken about some of our athletes who've done very different things over the past few days. We've got Kyton Pickering in the mix here from Alex. He's picked up medals already in the 3x1k beach relay. Tannen Swaney is in the mix from Tweed Heads and Coolangatta. Byron Diekman loves a ski paddle along the way. He's got some medals already for this World Championships. And Rodrigo Rodriguez Imanas from Club Salvamento Artexio. So wonderful to have so many athletes here. Wonderful to see them backing up after a massive ocean program. Lots of days of racing. I don't know how they're still standing.
You can see there the technique from Kyton Pickering on the top of the screen. He's opting for that butterfly kick. And as you mentioned, probably not a pet event for him, but absolutely loves lining up and having a race, as does all of our competitors here. You can see hitting the wall in first there. Is it Byron Dickman from the Maroochydore Surf Lifesaving Club, 34.02 ahead of Kyton Pickering, 36.04. So another fast heat, and we're only up to heat 2. We'll have a look at the replay as they hit the water and approach those pickups you mentioned there, getting 2 feet on the bottom, and it is no different to any other pool bottom, so quite slippery. It's a real technique, it's a real art, isn't it, just getting your feet in the best position to propel yourself back up to the surface.
Yep, when people say, what's the secret to a good clip up, fin on, pick up, you've got to do about 1,000 of them in many different pools, in many different conditions. I wish I could tell you that there was some sort of secret sauce, but it's a whole lot of repetition. And as we see with the different types of carrying and the different techniques, you also need to make sure that what you're doing works for you, for your individual strengths and your skills, which is why I'm so excited that we are seeing more of that butterfly kick start to come through. That really provides a wonderful advantage to some of our competitors. May not work for others, but you just have to give it a whirl.
Yeah, so true. Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, I wish we had a better saying, but you're like, no, that's kind of it.
It's the same with probably most things in sport. There's no magic way to get good at it. You just have to do it 1,000 times over. Heat number 4 in the water. Now, closest to screen, Oscar Starr Thomas from the Maroochy Surf Club, absolutely flying off the start.
And middle of the screen, I want to say that is going to be Serkan Oshuk from Drayton Valley. Had a fantastic race earlier. Top of the field, Melvin Gilbert is in the water from Cronulla, doing very well. But yes, it is all Oscar Starr Thomas. Quite a far way over on the lane rope. You need to be careful there. We've all caught the mannequin on the lane rope before, and it's an immediate handbrake, but no dramas at all for Oscar. A great time there, 33.21. And I think that'll actually be the fastest that we've seen from these early heats.
33.2 for Oscar Starr Thomas from Maroochydore. Second to Melvin Gilbert from Cronulla, 36.09. So no problems there at all for Oscar Starr Thomas. Having a look here at the replay, he really just got off the blocks so much faster than the rest of the field. And he's clearly an athlete who's done a lot of work on his pickups. He pulled away, as you mentioned, needing to be mindful as these finals come around, not wanting to get too close to those lane ropes, because it's only a fine grip that the athletes have on these mannequins, and there's actually nothing grippy there at all. It's quite slippery, so the slightest bump on your mannequin can really dislodge it from the competitor's hand. So that was heat number 4.
Yep, Heat 5 coming up next. Top of the screen, Zach Lewis from Retford and District, Gabrielle Deschamps from Narwhal Sauvetage, Sam Brager from Drayton Valley, Angus Liddell from Mordialloc, Joseph Skinder from Pacific, Anders Pettigrew from Gilly, Josh Huntingford from Clifton Beach, and Elliot Gerard from Narwhal Sauvetage. And Christy, I feel like the pace is starting to pick up. We're seeing the kick, we're seeing the stroke rate. Some of these boys going very, very early to get the mannequins. They're really trusting in their underwater work to put them in a fantastic position to come home. But middle of the field, I want to say that's Joseph Skinder, the Pacific Swim Academy. They've got these really distinctive blue caps with the bright green Maple Reef, and the Skinders having an absolute blast at the Lifesaving World Championship. We've got at least 3 or 4 of them running around, and have a look at this touch on the wall. What a way to start your day. What a way to kick off day 2 of the Youth Interclub Championships. Joseph, an incredible swim there, 37.88. We knew the pace was going to start to drop down a little bit. Joseph leading the way. Sam Brager, 39.13, and Angus Liddell in the mix there as well. Morty Alec, 40.11.
Yeah, Joseph Skinder from the Pacific Swim Academy in Canada. We've seen them feature prominently in the youth ocean events. So great to see them coming across strongly in the pool as well. They have a large team contingent here. The Pacific Swim Academy from Canada. Results there on screen.
Loving seeing 4 Canadian flags in the mix there as well. And I think it's going to be, if it was Canada in heat number 5, lane 6 is all about Haasewinkel and Retford and District. I think they have the majority of the next heat here. We've got Mika Bartel from Norderstedt. He'll be top of the screen in lane number 1. Emil Fortin from Narval Sauvetage in 2. Tobias Schramm, the first of our Haasewinkel competitors, in 3. Ben Chilvers in 4 from Retford. Marlon Official from Haasewinkel in 5. Then Seth Grayson and Tom Bagley from Retford and District. Raphael Leenan from Bietigheim-Bissingen rounding out the field. Love a full heat, love a full house. Everyone wants to be in the 50 carry.
Heat 6 of the men's 50 mannequin carry. It's a race here between the German clubs Canada and Great Britain. So a full international heat hitting the water. Fairly even start across the pool.
Yeah, Seth Grayson probably underwater a touch longer, trusting in those good starts. But we love, I mean, it's so hard to call these even starts or these even races here. But I want to say maybe further to the top of the field, that might be Tobias Schramm. A great start for him. Lane 4, that could actually be Ben Chilvers. Ben leading the way for the Retford and District Club champs here. And in lane 2, Emil Fortin from Narval. So you can see the boys, they're starting to fatigue. It's all about, as soon as you hit the flags, head down, no more breathing. Get the arms going through.
You could really see the stroke shortening up there from Ben Chilvers, 38.24. So doing enough to take out that heat, but you could see you're spot on there, Jen. The fatigue really, really setting in. The plan is not to breathe from the flags, but that's easier said than done. So results from heat number 6 on screen there.
Yeah, 38.02, great time there. And yeah, Christy, it's so easy to give advice from here. Harold and I were dishing out like, oh, you've got to take a few strokes before you breathe in the medley. After you do that underwater, we're giving tips on pickups, on clip-ups. And we're just sitting here in a very comfy chair bringing you the live stream. It is so different when you're down on pool deck, when you're in the water, where there's so much happening around you. It's really overwhelming, and I'm consistently amazed, especially for the youth competitors that we see on screen right now, just how mature they are, how resilient they are, and how much, they go in with a plan, they hope for the best, they stick to it wherever they can, but they continue to show me how good they are.
And they almost improve with every single race, so still a lot of experience to be gained, though you're right, Jen. It is very, very impressive with the way that they approach these heats. Some of the professionalism, it's easy to confuse them with our open competitors.
Absolutely. And another international heat here. Stefan Mann from Niederolm-Warstadt in 1. Prosper Leidinger from Langenberg in 2. Ben Brinkman from Haasewinkel. Simon Hosch from Niederolm. Jacob Middleton from Hina. Craig McClymont from Haasewinkel. Wyan Webb from Drayton Valley Lifesavers. And Raffi O'Sullivan from Gilly in lane 8. Loving all the different club flags. Loving the national flags, I should say. And in lane 6, Craig McClymont from Haasewinkel looks to have the best of it at the moment.
Yeah, not much separating them though as we look across the field. The whitewater coming off the feet of these competitors, probably where most of that propulsion is coming from. Lane 4 just sneaking away. Simon Hosch, that looks to be. It is Jacob Middleton, I should say, 36.04. Oh, we're getting into 36 territory now. This is what we want. Oscar Starr Thomas still has the fastest time at 33.21, but Jacob Middleton ahead of Wyatt Webb and Ben Brinkman. Fantastic racing.
And I love that we get to see these replays so quickly. See, we can just down there now. I think that was lane 6 that had the best of it, but lane 5, fantastic racing from Jacob Middleton. And if you haven't been watching too many of the pool comps, yes, he's happy with that one. Could be a PB, could be a best time.
Yeah, and even just a mistake-free race is something to be happy about. There's so many technical aspects of these mannequin races, and so just to have nailed your dive, your pickup and your finish is something to be celebrated, and Jacob's certainly happy with that time there as well, 36.04.
And we want to celebrate with the athletes as well. Harold and I are really lobbying to bring back the claim. We want to see a fist bump. We want you to see you slap the water as long as it's in a very respectful way to everyone else. You've worked so hard. You've had an incredible result. Let's celebrate.
Yeah, we're absolutely excited for you. So happy to see those claims, and perhaps we will this afternoon in the finals package.
And Liam Schweitzer from South Africa, that's the Woodridge cap closest to screen. Great start for him. Lasse Lederer from Bietigheim-Bissingen, middle of the field. As they head down, I think it's still Lasse in lane 4, but this is going to be quick. Christy, we've changed another gear. On lane number 2, Tristan Hubner-Hecker from Bietigheim-Bissingen, out by himself at the moment in that navy cap, looking very, very good. As we go to the wide view, lane 2, an absolute bolter, but lane 6, Justice Pills from Langenberg coming through. It's going to be a touch.
Oh, finishing so fast there. Lane 2, it was just ahead of lane 6. So almost got there on the touch though.
There you go, Bietigheim-Bissingen, Tristan coming through. And we spoke yesterday in the 100 toe. The skills from Bietigheim-Bissingen as a club, they were next level. Really, they've been doing the work. They've got some quality coaches. To see Bietigheim-Bissingen consistently just nail these technical aspects and then combine it with the speed now in the 50 carry. Tristan, an incredible job.
0.02 separating first and second in that heat. So that's how close it was. 34.64 for our winner and 34.66.
Elliot Gerard in there for third, and Lasse Lederer 35.58. So nothing in it, just the touch, and we have only got 4 heats remaining, 4 heats to go in the 50 carry for the men. Thomas Rich in 1 from Gilly, Lucas Wunda from Lukenwald in 2, Vincent Lalenset from Naval Sauvetage, Jacob Falconer from Ocean Beach, Lewis Morgan from Sker and Pink Bay, Rowan Toon from Northcliffe, Noel Langer from Langenberg, and Timmy Wang from Norderstedt. Big heat, big race, 4 heats to go. You've got to think we're about to see some very fast times. We know that the boys are easily under that 35-second mark now, and that's what's going to be required to make a final.
Some different techniques on the start blocks, some just standing there focused, others like the slap of the arms or, just the flick of those muscles, making sure they've done their final preparations. A little bit more of a wait for this heat. Number 9, waiting for those mannequins to get set. I think they are ready now for a start.
Yeah, we'd love to see the thumbs up come through from the officials. They're now in the starters' hands. So Thomas Rich from Gilly is in 1. Timmy Wang from Norderstedt closest to us in that bright pink cap. And here we go, the boys up and racing very, very quickly. Vincent Lalenset from Naval, the Canadian, in lane 3. Very, very good start, but I want to say he's probably still the quickest there, but lane 6, Rowan Toon from Northcliffe, fantastic skills for him coming through the field.
Yeah, a few different techniques there. We have a couple doing that butterfly kick. You can see great underwater shots there. A tight finish for this heat number 9. Top middle of the field, but finishing fast there in lane number 2. It was Jacob Falconer from Ocean Beach hitting the wall in first, slightly ahead of Noel Langer.
Yeah, great touch there. Jacob Falconer, only a few Ocean Beach competitors here at the pool. Wonderful to have them in the mix. 33.91 for Jacob ahead of Noel Langer of Langenberg. Heat number 9 is done. We've only got 3 heats remaining. So, Chris, you did ask earlier around the seeded heats. Definitely for those athletes who have entry times recorded, we can see that the heats are getting tighter and tighter. And that's on purpose. We want the athletes to be swimming with their competitors who have similar times. We want to push them forward. So you've got to think for heats 10, 11 and 12. They're coming up next. It's going to be quicker again. And a few of our international representatives in the mix now. Jake Hutton in one from Clifton, Mika Liam Horniak from Raider Vadenbroek, Luca Paul Gerlach from Lukenwald, Kobe Holden, great with a mannequin in his hand from Currumbin, Braden Woodford, world champ in the 100 toe last week from Bulli, Heath Corrie from Mordialloc, Luca Widmer from Met Caloundra, and Nicholas Hiob from Bietigheim Bissigen. This is going to be fast. The boys are down already. No mucking around. This is going to be a great race.
Braden Woodford from Bulli, also the Youth World Surf Race Champion. So look for him in lane number 5 as they dive down to collect their mannequins. Great pickups. We've seen really successful pickups right the way through this heat program. It is the yellow cap of Bulli marginally in front, pulling away now as he edges towards that wall. Braden Woodford from the Bulli Surf Lifesaving Club. He'll hit the wall in first with a lightning fast time.
Yeah, 31.55 for Braden. He's got to be happy with that. When I think of Braden, I think of fins. I think of 100 carry, 100 toe, underwater work as well. But to come out here, 31.55, and as you said, he's had a massive surf program as well for the National and Interclub. Kobe Holden, great swim for him as well, 32.28, and Heath Corrie coming to again in the 32 club, 32.75, and perfect touch on the wall there for Braden. We can see Kobe Holden, the white cap at top of screen, Heath Corrie just behind there. So you've got to think the nerves for the men who are in these final 2 heats. They're seeing a few 31s come into the board now. If we take a look at the overall leaderboard, so it's about a 33 high to be in that top 8 at the moment and a 34 mid. So you've got to think 5, 6, 7 of these boys in the last 2 heats likely to feature in those finals. So boys just need to rip in from here. Liam Smith from Germany in 1, Noah McDonald, Matthew Lowe, Leo Ilias Baumann, Tom Habel. Met Caloundra have both James Lee and Lachlan Vink. Alex Walker, Currumbin. I'm still getting used to seeing Alex Walker in a Currumbin cap. That is the white cap at the bottom of your screen. He had a great day yesterday. Wonderful to see him back in action, and looks to be 2 full heats to close out these last races. So lots of speed yet to come, just waiting for that big thumbs up from the official.
They're in the starters' hands now, ready for a start.
I always feel like we need to be quiet here as well, as if we're down
like
there.
The tennis.
Like I'm on pool deck or I'm watching beach flags. So Liam Smith, top of the field, he was the first to surface. Lane 8, Alex Walker looking very, very strong. Big kick, great stroke rate, but have a look at the underwater work there. That is what we're here for. That looks to be James Lee from Met Caloundra. Fantastic racing for him. In the middle of the screen, those yellow lanes show us lanes 4 at the top of your screen, lane 5 down. So Leo Ilias Baumann, we know how great he is from Lukenwald, and Tom Habel, his teammate in the mix. I think it's going to be a Lukenwald party here. Good times on the ball, and the first of the 30s. 30.96 for Leo, 31.32 for Tom.
So that looked impressive, and it was 30.96, just sneaking under, but that's all you have to do.
And Christy, when we think about these barriers or these milestones, getting under the 30 mark for the 50 carry is huge. For our open men, that was unheard of a few years back, and the fact that we now have juniors, like the junior world record is held by Giovanni Mastarilli. We saw him in action for Italy, actually raced in the Open Rane Rossi team last week as well. He's gone 28.9 in the past. For youth competitors, they're just so impressive, and to have these 2 men from Lukenwald, Leo Ilias Baumann and Tom Habel in the mix, leading the way, incredible competitors. And I'm just going to check, yes, they are now the fastest 2 qualifiers ahead of Braden Woodford.
So I'm very excited to see this final later on this afternoon. It's going to be a fast one. You can see there now start list on the screen for heat number 12, our final heat of the men's 50-metre mannequin carry.
And here we go, powering through the program, powering through this race. So Kingston Lowe is closest to us in lane 8. wonderful in the surf, getting better and better in the pool as well. Kai Gilbert, known for those fast starts, part of that incredible Northcliffe team yesterday that was so close to a world record. But have a look, Riley Brennan in lane 4, starting to swim away from the rest of the field. He has just been collecting gold medals left, right and centre at this World Championships. What a start. Great touch on the wall as well. 30.21. What a way to start the day. He was looking tired yesterday. You would not know that by these sorts of times.
30.21, just such a strong swimmer, whether it be the pool or the ocean. Riley Brennan from Currumbin taking out that final heat ahead of Henry Simpson from Alexandra Headland in a time of 31.94, and Kai Gilbert, who you mentioned earlier, 32.02.
So Riley, Henry and Kai have all qualified through to the A final. Looking at the leaderboard right now, Kobe Holden from Currumbin will be 9th overall, leading out that B final. So we thought it was going to be 33s maybe. It's a 32.17 is required. Patrick Welsall from Goodisloe will be the 8th qualifier in that A final. And Lachlan Vink from Metcallandrin, 33.82 for him to be just in to that B final. So very excited for that one. But Riley Brennan, you've got to think he's got 0.7 on the rest of the field. Leo Elias Baumann and Tom Habel, they would love to get more of our Germans on the podium. It's been a little while. We've had a lot of Aussie action over the past few days, but Riley, Leo and Tom leading the way, the fastest qualifiers for the 50 carry.
They looked impressive, didn't they? Yes, Riley Brennan posting at the fastest time by a considerable margin there. However, we won't know until finals time how much was left in the tank for some of our chasing competitors. As we mentioned, Braden Woodford looking very, very strong. Yeah. Some of these athletes know what it takes just to bring a little bit extra come finals this afternoon.
Oh, we have seen our athletes consistently lift from the heats to the finals, and that's not just a 50 carry, that's the obs, that's the relays. Every single time we see these improvements, and it's just phenomenal. But Christy, I love that it is 8:50 a.m. and we are done with both the 50 carry for the men and the women, so really powering through the program. Up next we have the 4x25 mannequin relay, and I'd say again, based on how yesterday ran, maybe 3 or 4 heats for both the men and the women there. And something that has really struck me as we look through the heats and we look at the volumes, there's more female youth competitors here than there are female men.
Yeah, it's really interesting, isn't it? We did see a larger number of heats in that first event, so we would expect to see a similar trend throughout the rest of the day. Go the girls.
Yep, loving that, and impressed that so many of our teams have actually bought at least 2 competitors for a rope throw, or 4 to be lining up now in the 4x25 mannequin relay. So the fact that we have 3 fairly full heats for the women, and just checking the men, I think we will have, again, 3 heats there as well. So some familiar faces starting to come through. And a shout out to the marshals, who are doing an incredible job herding the cats, getting everyone into the marshalling area. But also a shout out to our athletes. With the live heat system coming in, it is a little bit different. We do bring our athletes into the marshalling area in a slightly different way. Where, you know, they need to mark off, they need to be recorded in the system. And where you've been down on the ocean, often they're wearing the wristbands as well to be tagged in and out of their races.
Yeah, so I think most of our competitors are used to that system now and really enjoy the efficiency of it, and having the access to those results and those times in real time has really been a game changer for our athletes, coaches and teams. So I would expect to see, I don't know, maybe some less nerves on the faces of the competitors for this 4x25 mannequin carry. It's more an event of technicality than it is perhaps that physical pain. 25 metres is very, very explosive, but with those changeovers, there's a lot of area or a lot of room to either gain or lose if you haven't really polished those changeovers.
Absolutely. We've seen some incredible performances in both the open and the youth competition. And when we think about that innovation of people really pushing what we can do within the rules, I think that this is where we've seen the most of that. You know, the fact that the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre, the main competition pool here, it's 2 metres deep the entire way. And that means that we're seeing a lot of competitors starting to push off the bottom for those relay changeovers. And there is a 10 metre changeover zone that is clearly marked on the side of the pool. So if you have, and again, greatest of respect, some of our ocean athletes, our board paddlers, our ski paddlers, our ocean men and ocean women, who are probably feeling a little bit uncomfortable here at the pool. They're out of their comfort zone. You'd probably look to minimise the distance that they need to swim, really do that changeover at the start of the changeover zone. And for some of those stronger carriers, you'd really push them towards the start there and be like, yep, you're going to do close to 35 carry here, champ.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point you made there, Jen. In my mind, was thinking you may put your less experienced competitors at the other end where they get to push off the wall. But as you mentioned, you can be a little bit strategic and swim slightly less in that transition buffer zone that they have. So
I'm just always looking for an easy way out.
Yeah,
honestly,
I was thinking the same. I was thinking if I got to choose my positioning, I'd probably like to be able to push off the wall rather than push off the bottom. But you could sell me on having to swim a little bit less distance.
And that 2 to 3 changeover, I think that is really tough. It's highly technical. And what has been really interesting as we make the transition from the national teams competition now into the Interclub, for some of those combinations that we've seen work really well in the national teams, if they are back in the same club, they'll generally be in those same positions in the relays because they have the confidence, they've trained together, they know how it works. It's all about minimising that risk, controlling what you can, and it's been really wonderful seeing some of those combos pop up again. Even Rescue Tube Rescue, seeing some of our Kiwi team now racing for Northcliffe, and it's essentially the Blackfins again, but the familiarity that they have with each other, it just works, and it's such an advantage going from national to interclub competition.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the more chances you get to practice those changeovers, the more confident, the more polished you will be. We spoke there about the changeover zone in the middle of the field that the competitors will have to exchange the mannequin within.
We can see the marks on the side of the pool there. Because there's so many different races that will be happening today across the 50, the 4x25, the super, and then the medley relay this afternoon, you will see quite a few little milestones, a few little distances measured out on the side of the pool, just in anticipation for some of those races. And while we have a quick little break as the marshals get everything ready, a huge thanks to all of our pool setters doing an incredible job over the past nearly 2 weeks of racing. They've really allowed us to run an incredibly efficient competition. They're filling mannequins up, they're emptying mannequins out, they're putting it the halfway, they're putting it the other end, and seeing the divers as well with the oxygen equipment, especially in those 100 carries where they have to place with millimetre precision these mannequins across the pool, because it's all about making sure that we have the most even, the most consistent and the fairest playing field for our athletes.
Yeah, tough job for those officials. Big day in the water, resetting those mannequins, and take this opportunity to absolutely thank everyone who puts this competition together. We could not do it without all of our officials, team managers, coaches, who do all of that hard work behind the scenes so our athletes can shine. It looks as though we're getting closer to a start now for heat number 1 of the women's 4x25 mannequin relay.
Yep, it does take a village, and I do love that we have assembled the best of all of our officials, our athletes, our judges. Everyone's here to make this the best event we possibly can. And yes, you can see the girls making their way down now. I get a quick little high five or a down low too slow from the officials on the way through. Top of screen there on the far right-hand side, you can see the bright red cap of Sunshine Beach. And similar to Met Caloundra, we started to see a few little Sunshine Beach caps pop up at our local or our national pool rescue championships a few years ago. And I feel that every time they're here, there's a few more. And then they've got a line throw. Now they've got a relay. Now they've got 2 relays. And they are just going from strength to strength.
They are an impressive youth club, probably still strongest in their youth competitors, the athletes there from Sunshine Beach. But it won't be long until we'll see this pool of athletes progress into the open category. A very, very strong
pool of athletes.
Pool,
yeah, see what you did there?
A very strong club to the northern end of the Sunshine Coast, Sunshine Beach Surf Lifesaving Club, just there next to Tweed Heads and Coolangatta in that maroon and yellow cap. Another club that we've mentioned who is really building their strength in the pool life-saving events.
Yep, so you can see the girls, because it is a 4x25 event, they will have one competitor that will start in the water at the start end of the pool. Two of them will jump in here at the halfway mark. They will wait within that changeover zone, ready to collect the mannequin. And Chrissy, it always looks a little funny, but it's actually really, really important. If you're not involved in that changeover, you will see the girls on the side of the lane right there. They'll probably have their hands out of the water as well, just to really clearly signify to the judges, I'm not in the way, I'm not assisting, I'm not obstructing. So yes, if you see some hands up in the middle of the pool, don't be alarmed.
Yeah, our technical judges on the side of the pool having to work overtime in some of these events. A little bit difficult to see the changeovers happening under the water.
No, they're doing an incredible job. So top of the screen, Tweedheads and Coolangatta next to Wamarana from New Zealand, Sunshine Beach, Norderstedt and Niederolm, Warstedt, and they're both from Germany, and Retford and District will be closest to us in lane 6 in that pale blue cap.
So closest to us, bottom of the screen there, it looks like the two teams from Germany really solid off the start there. Moving through the field a little bit also, top of the screen there, it may be the other team. Is it the team from New Zealand?
Yep, Waimārana, fantastic, really quick into that start. But have a look at the skills in the middle of the pool there from Norderstedt. They were great there. They got fantastic distance, and we can see now the butterfly kick really starting to come through, trying to maintain that distance. If anything, I'd say she's extending that lead here, the pink cap from Norderstedt.
She's absolutely extending a body length and a half going into this third changeover. Looked smooth, didn't it?
That was fantastic. And we did speak earlier in the 50 carry, Christy, around, some of our athletes just moving a little bit to the left and the right in the lane. If you see that in a 4x25 mannequin relay, it's actually a conscious choice, especially coming into that 2 to 3 changeover, because they do need to make a little bit extra room for their teammate on the turn, flipping around that 40-kilo mannequin. So don't be alarmed. The girls know what they're doing, and in particular, Norderstedt out in front, gripping that mannequin. I love that they can practically have the headlock position now, so secure.
Really smooth changeovers from our German team. Clear winners of this first heat. The women's mannequin relay hitting the wall there now. A time of 1:33.
1:33.40. I wish I looked like that at the end of a 25 carry. Her kick was phenomenal. That was so impressive.
So strong there. You can see second place going to the team there in lane 2. That was the team from New Zealand. Early leaders of that heat.
Yeah, Waimārana so strong across the field. It was in lane 5 we had Niederolm Warstedt. Fantastic start there, and the girls know there are 16 teams that will go through to either an A or a B final for Norderstedt. We're hoping that they have done enough, taking out the win in that first heat. Only 3 heats in total, so we need to find out if that 1:33.40 is enough to get them through. And Christy, one of the great things, but also one of the terrible things about using live heats, we do see very quickly if one of our teams has been disqualified. And unfortunately for Sunshine Beach, I think that they are done in this 4x25, a DQ up on the board.
Yeah, we spoke about the very many technical aspects of this event. It's, we will start to see a few more DQs potentially roll in, especially in the relays, the changeovers especially. Is very, very hard, and our judges will be knowing exactly what they'll be looking for, whether or not they were just outside of that changeover zone. It may be an extra hand on the mannequin. We won't quite know what the technicality was, but unfortunately we say goodbye to the team from Sunshine Beach.
Yeah, that is tough luck. Unfortunately, we have all been DQ'd many, many times, but you will learn. And it is the Lifesaving World Championships. We do have the best of the best here, and the girls will learn from that. We talk about resilience a lot here. They'll move on. They'll be back in action very, very soon. Heat 2 is now coming through. We can see the ladies they've already got their goggles on, so we won't be too far away from a start in this second heat. Morty Alec is in 1 from Canada, Club d'Entraînement en Sauvetage in 2. Lukenwald from Germany, watch out for them in 4. Sunshine Coast Grammar will be in 5. Harsewinkel from Germany in 6. And then Clifton Beach, or Clifton Surf Lifesaving Club, the bright yellow cap, lane number 7. All girls here with eyes on a safe race, a fast race, but really pushing for those A and B finals.
Yeah, the competitors in the hands of the starter now. It's a very fine line with how much power you put into the push off the wall because, as you mentioned, it's a 40-kilo mannequin that they need to bring up to their same speed. So a steady but strong start there. The team from Clifton Surf look to have got the best of the start, bottom of the screen in those yellow caps.
And Morty Alec at top of screen. We've got the two bookends looking very, very good. Lane 4, Lukenwald, always strong. Really impressed with their youth team. They actually picked up a medal in the open relay. It was I can't remember which one it was. I will find it because it was a hugely emotional place for them to get up on the dais. It was really, really special. Lots of tears, lots of hugs. But wonderful to see what it means to be on the podium here at the Lifesaving World Championships. But for now, it is Morty Alec and it is Lukenwald in lane 4, 1 and 2, well clear of the rest of the field.
Yeah, 50 metres done in this 25-metre mannequin carry relay. Lane 4 possibly just extending their lead ahead of Morty Alec at the top of the screen.
And you've got to think that for some of our teams here, they would have a very pool-focused team. From Lukenwald, you'd be expecting that they've got 4 quality swimmers here, so a fantastic changeover for them. But Morty Alec, I want to say that 3 to 4 changeover at the top of the screen, very, very strong, and both teams, fantastic kick on this final 25. There's not going to be much in this at all. Loving seeing the girls really power through, knowing that this is their opportunity to post some great times. I want to give it to Lukenwald at the moment, but it's going to come down to the touch. The girls are starting to fatigue, and it is going to be the team of Morty Alec 135.30 to Lukenwald 135.33. So only 3/100ths of a second in the mix, but Morty Alec, I think that's a Maya on screen now, getting it done. What a finish.
That was an impressive swim from Morty Alec. She was breathing away from the German competitor, so even more impressive without knowing exactly where she was positioned. I thought the German team were going to come over the top with the advantage of eyeing her off with every stroke, but the team from Morty Alec too good in this second heat.
And we see the replay now. Lukenwald just fantastic on that 2 to 3 changeover. 3 to 4 pretty good as well. And this was the difference just on the touch. A fantastic swim. The girls very happy to have that one done. And unfortunately, another DQ. Clifton Beach have been disqualified in heat number 2. Their race is over. Unfortunately, they will not progress through to either the A or the B final. But we have only one heat to go. So we've got Burleigh Heads. You can see the Raywoods combining with Chelsea Wood and Charlotte Hart. Wonderful to see her in the mix. Bietigheim-Bissingen is in 2, Currumbin in 3, Maroochydore in 4, Northcliffe in 5, and from Canada, Naval Sauvetage Sportif in lane number 7. So 2 through 7. And you've got to think, how many do we have on the leaderboard? Okay, so 10 teams have qualified through safely so far. So here's the deal. Sorry, Christiane.
Bring it to us, Jen.
Here's how it's going to be. So we have 6 teams in this heat. If all of them get through cleanly, if there's no disqualifications, at worst, B final. At worst, we have spots for all of these ladies in the B final, but it's still to be determined if it's an A or a B.
That's a nice feeling. Just got to make it through. No mistakes, no DQs.
Oh, that's nearly worse, just being like, don't get DQ'd. There's so many opportunities, but a really fast start. The Currumbin Beach Vikings looking very, very good. They are in lane 3, the Whitecaps, and I think that could be, well, the screen tells us that it's Madison Jones leading off, but we will confirm that a little later. Lane 4 looking great. Lane 2 as well, that's Burleigh Heads Mowbray Park, looking very, very strong as we come through. Great changeover from Currumbin there.
Yeah, it looked like a fast changeover. We'll have to wait for the officials to confirm that they were all safe changeovers, but Currumbin extending their lead as their second swimmer approaches the changeover.
Yeah, this is the tough one. This is what we want to watch. Comes through, touch on the wall, trying to stay out of each other's way as that mannequin gets pivoted very, very quickly. Have a look at that.
You can see the thumbs up from the officials, so we believe that was a safe changeover from the team from Currumbin Beach Vikings.
Yeah, Currumbin Beach Vikings looking good. Maroochydore, the Black Caps, just outside of them. They are in a battle now with Burleigh Heads Mowbray Park in the blue caps on the top of the screen, just in those blue lanes there as well. And lots of hands up in the middle of the pool. I'm not involved. I'm not giving extra assistance, but it looks to be Currumbin, Maroochydore, Burleigh 1, 2 and 3. The girls have only 10, 12 metres yet to swim, and then we will know who's going to be in these finals. But fantastic stroke rate across the field, and I want to say in lane 3, Germany, that's beating Heim-Bissigen, looking very, very strong, just trying to push into 4th and hopefully into that A final.
Yeah, Maroochydore coming home there, I think it was to claim the 2nd place. A strong finish. I believe that might have been Pippi Barlow taking off some lead from the Currumbin Vikings. They may have slowed up a little bit coming into the wall there.
And I love seeing these different starts, as you mentioned earlier, Christy. And often we will put our Iron Men, our Iron Women on that start as well. They can get a fantastic push off the wall, and probably I don't want to say the easiest of the changeovers, but probably the lowest risk, in that they really just have to swim over the top of that second competitor and let go of the mannequin at a certain point.
That's exactly right. The mannequin already has forward momentum, so it's a little bit easier than that change at the far end where the mannequin almost comes to a complete dead stop as it turns direction. So the 3rd to 4th changeover is not a bad one to be in.
And a huge congratulations. No DQs. Great news, ladies. You're all in either an A or a B final. Currumbin came through 1:34.47. Maroochydore just behind. But the team from Germany, Norderstedt, those pink caps, they are the fastest qualifiers in that 4x25. So we will have Norderstedt, Currumbin, Mordy Alec, Lukenwald, Maroochydore, Burleigh Heads, Weimaraner and Niederulm Worcester. That is the top 8. They are the A finalists that will be back in action for the big one, the big race, the gold medal race, the World Championship race for the finals this afternoon.
We will be crowning world champions in our afternoon finals package, commencing around 1 p.m. this afternoon. It's pretty cool to be able to walk out of the pool complex a world champ. That'll be the reality for some of our swimmers.
Yeah, and we can see the men lining up already. No rest at all. They are in the starters' hands. Norderstedt, Lukenwald, Langenberg, Drayton Valley Lifesavers and Gilly from GB in lane 7. Bottom of the screen closest to us, and have a look at the power off the start here. Big kicks, strong strokes, and again we're seeing some of our athletes just close on that lane rope. That's okay. That's on purpose. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, you mentioned here a lot of our international teams bringing specialist pool swimmers, so we would expect this heat to be fast. A race in 3 breaking away.
Yeah, great battle between 4 and 5 at the moment. This is what we want. That is Lukenwald and Langenberg. Very keen to watch these changeovers, and fantastic work. Have a look at that in lane 4, Lukenwald. If I was talking a lot about beating Heim-Bissigen yesterday for those toes, I'm all about Lukenwald today for the changeovers.
Yes, I'm just looking at some of the qualifying times that these teams have put down. We've got a team there maybe a little bit out of range with their qualifying time, but it is the team on screen at the moment, lane 4, clear leaders of this first heat, the men's 4x25 mannequin relay, storming home.
Yeah, fantastic touch on the wall. 1:14.36. Fantastic finish there. That's what we want to see. Nice and easy. Just get through these cleanly. Langenberg 1:22. And it's going to be Norderstedt coming in for third, 1:26.87. And similar to the ladies, only 3 heats here. And just having a look at the numbers. Please wait while I count in my head. Probably nearly enough for everyone to make the A or the B final, just on 16 teams in total lining up for this race. It is so tough to put, 4 quality athletes together to make a 4x25 carry, to get them all the way halfway around the world for a Lifesaving World Championships. To have 16 top teams here, my gosh, that was a fantastic changeover. That is what we want to see. That is why they've gone 1:14.3.
Yes, anyone watching on at home, take note of that. That's how it's done.
Yep, any nippers who want to get involved in pool lifesaving, these are the teams to watch. Lukenwald 1:14.36, and It was fantastic having the international comp about a week ago in the 4x25. The Spanish women broke the world record there, beating the previous mark held by Italy. It was wonderful to see. And the Aussies, no world record for them, but they did take out the international comp ahead of Poland and New Zealand. So wonderful to see so many teams in action. And heat number 2, they're already in the water. And it's always so nerve-wracking, Christy. Like, you wait, you know you've heard the whistle, you know you're allowed to get in the water, but it's always nice if someone else goes first.
It's a hard position, isn't it? The starter, probably, the bravest of the 4 swimmers, taking that nervous weight on the start line.
And we can see top of the screen we have Haasewinkel in 3, Metka Loundra, Maroochydore, Bietigheim Bissingen, and Alexandra Headlands. Bright yellow cap, bottom of the screen. Now they know that a fast time has been set 1:14.36, but if we can get them through cleanly, B final at worst.
Yeah, we've mentioned here we've got some pool specialists. We also have some teams combining for those really important club point score points. It's not necessarily a podium finish that some of our clubs are going for. It's just bagging some more points for that overall club point score, which we will see unfold tomorrow as there is a champion club crowned world champions, middle of the screen, doing the absolute best of it in this 3rd and final heat.
Yep, fantastic work across the pool. I think that's Maroochydore in lane 5, Metka Loundra in lane 3. So we have seen these teams battle it out at our state and our national competitions, and wonderful to see that now playing out on the world stage.
Yes, not too much separating our teams as they come into that final change. It is the team from Metka Loundra in that blue cap just slipping behind now. The team from Maroochydore really taking charge of this heat.
But it was actually Bietigheim Bissingen who were on the bottom of the screen now. They had an incredible 3 to 4 change, and I think that has allowed them to really come into contention here. Surely they've got to be close to an A qualification spot there, not just on the strength of those 4 individual legs, but again, those changeovers, those technical elements really proving the difference.
Alexandra Headlands there just coming in.
Yeah, one.
To see if our changes were all safe, and it looks like it may be the team from Alexandra Headlands finishing with a DQ, unfortunately. So some lessons to be taken out of that heat for the men from Alex.
Oh, that's
but
always
no problems
tough
at all for our teams from Maroochydore, Metropolitan Caloundra, and Bietigheim from Germany.
Sorry, Christy. I was going to say there's nothing worse. You know when you'd finish the race and you're waiting at the blocks and there's a pause, which means the officials are conferring, you're waiting for something to happen, and you'd see an official come around from the side of the pool. They'd walk along, and you were just thinking, like, don't stop at my lane. Go to either side, like just anyone else but me. And unfortunately, they often did stop at our lanes.
And Jen, you mentioned there one of the technical aspects is the mannequin head needs to be behind your head. Mm-hmm. So I think from just looking at that replay, it might have been where the Alex team came unstuck there, just sneaking that mannequin up alongside them. It might be an easier position to carry, but you do have to keep that mannequin head behind the head of the swimmer.
Well, you've got to think it would be so much more secure if you've really got the mannequin close to your body. If you've got a full arm around it as well, that would be better. But again, as we make these decisions, everything is a play-off between what is the risk, what is the reward. Do I choose that level of risk? But I'm backing myself to really perform in different ways. So we can see Northcliffe and Clifton Beach, they were on screen earlier. But from heat number 1, the team of Luckenwald, 1:14.36. They are 7 seconds clear of Maroochydore, who won that second heat. So massive gap there. But strong heat yet to come now. South Africa's Clifton Surf Club, BMD Northcliffe, Currumbin Vikings. From Germany, we have Niederolm Warstadt, and also, then GB's Retford and District, Canada's Naval Sauvetage. So, again, international flavours in the mix here. The last heat of the 4x25 mannequin relay, last opportunity to get into the B finals or the A's.
We'll be expecting a strong showing from the team in lane 4, Currumbin Beach Vikings. Have got some guns within their team. Let's see how they shape up against the rest of the field. They're away now. Clean and even start. Nothing separating our teams. too far. It actually looks like one of our German teams in lane 5 getting a jump. And maybe it's the team from BMD Northcliffe with those maroon caps also off to a flying start in lane 2.
Yeah, lane 2, have a look at the butterfly kick in there as well. That is something that's probably really been a significant change for me, like having been... okay, it's been a while since the Interclub Championships, but we do get to see, development within Australia here at our local and our national events. But I feel like there's been a step change. There's really been a significant increase. And have a look in lane 4, that changeover for the Currumbin Vikings, easily a body length out of that change.
Yeah, the second swimmer there putting in a massive effort for the team from Currumbin Vikings going into their final change. Looked pretty good from this angle. So it's Currumbin in 1, potentially Northcliffe still hanging on to that second position as we come back then to the team from Germany.
Yeah, that'll be Nida Olmorstadt in the blue caps, but a fantastic swim, a great time, a 1:16.48. And that is that is still behind Lukenwald. Lukenwald 1:14, Currumbin 1:16, Maroochydore were 1:21. So that's also where we've seen Northcliffe come through. So fantastic race ahead, 2 clear leaders on the rest of the field, but my gosh, that podium is going to be tight.
It's going to be a fantastic final to watch. We just look at the replay now from that start. The pace was really on. You could see Northcliffe get an early lead, but the second swimmer from Currumbin is where the change really happened throughout this race.
Oh, and a fantastic change over there as well from Nida Olm. But there's the distance, there's the gap on the rest of the field. And interesting, Chrissy, that we had these bolters in each of the heats. Cannot wait to see them all line up against each other this afternoon for those A finals. Northcliffe coming through. And again, just want to make sure we're all through. So yes, 6 teams through, no DQs in that 4x25. And I promised you that the pool was efficient. I know you've had a few days down at the beach. You're going to love it here. The 50s are done. The 4x25 is through. I don't want to say the big race of the day, but definitely the race that has the most equipment and probably still a very high volume of competitors is up next. So it's only 9:20, but we're ready for some super lifesavers, and then it will be the 4x50 medley relay to close out today, and that will close the heats. But quite a few supers to get through because there is a full mannequin and a half full mannequin for every single competitor here. It takes a little longer to get through, but my gosh, I am consistently amazed by our pool setters who just turn this around, get the gear moving through, and you can see on another screen we've got the mannequins making their way up and down the pool from there. But on screen they are going to be your A finalists for that 4x25 this afternoon. Wonderful international flavour. It's going to be a big one. Nida Olmorstadt, the 8th and final qualifier, so they will be in lane 8 this afternoon. But for now, it's all about the super lifesavers, and for some of our athletes knowing, let me check how many heats actually we have for the women. A lot of our men, this is the time to take some hydration, get some food in, a bit of a rest, a bit of a lie down, because we always talk about the World Championships being a marathon and not a sprint.
And you mentioned there, Jen, quite a long wait depending on what heat you're actually in of these 200 super lifesavers. Could potentially be an hour of time passing between heat number 1, heat number 14. I think we have 12 heats of the women.
Yep. Just looking at now, so 12 for the women. Definitely a few people are tapping out, and you've got to think we're getting tired. It's day 3 or day 2 here at the pool, but for some of our athletes it's day 5 of Interclub, week 2 if you race for the nationals. And the men, they probably haven't done full marshalling for that yet, but at worst 10 heats for the men in the super lifesaver. So this is I don't want to say it's a grind, like I don't want that to be a negative word that we use here, but the fact that we've got so many athletes here, they want to be part of the Lifesaving World Championships, they want to do a super lifesaver. This is the chunky part of the program. And we talk about, the super lifesaver. I think Paul Lamont, the great Masters competitor from Terrigal, I remember talking to him. We did an interview one day, and often at a Masters comp we don't do the Super Lifesaver, so he would always step up and do that one with the Opens. And he always said, no, I want to do the Super Lifesaver. To me, it's like the Ironman, because it's a little bit of everything that we do in the pool across the 50 carry, the 100 tow, all these different events. You put it together, you get a Super Lifesaver. The same way in the ocean you do your board, swim, ski, run, then you've got an Ironman together. And I was like, Paul, I have never thought about it that way. Honestly, I should just hang out with him a little bit more often, learn his wisdom, but one of the best Masters competitors of all time, and still going strong, still breaking world records this year.
Yeah, interesting point you bring up there, Jen. Just before you mentioned that, I was actually thinking if there is an equivalent to the Ironman, Ironwoman event, it would be this 200 Super Lifesaver. As you mentioned, it's a little bit of everything. There's some mannequin carrying without fins, with fins. There's some clip-ups. There's all sorts of technical aspects that our athletes will be tested and challenged on here. A different pace as well. I mean, it is a flat-out race, but you also need to pace yourself throughout the race, don't you?
Yes, do not go out too hard. And we can see if you're enjoying the pool live stream now, we also have a separate live stream running down at Kurrawa Beach. So while the Youth Interclub is racing here today at the pool, the Open Interclub is down at Kurrawa Beach. A massive program to work through. You really do need 3 days to get everything done, especially considering how many people have rocked up to Kurrawa Beach. All the locals are there. Everybody wants to be a part of it. It's been a massive day already, or day and a half, we should say.
Yeah, and you mentioned the efficiency at which the events are turning through here at the pool. It's a little bit more challenging down at the beach with the conditions that are facing the athletes. You can see the flags in the background there blowing quite strongly. There was a really strong northerly wind that picked up midway through the morning down on the beach, which did take a little bit of time for the officials to reset some of the arenas, some of the athletes, also taking a little bit more time to navigate those courses as the conditions down at Kurrawa Beach got more and more challenging throughout the day.
And really tough as well. I know when we had one of our breaks, you're going to love the lunch break as well. We're very civilised here. We take a break. And at that point, we actually put the ocean live stream up on the big screen here at the pool. And they had the beach sprints, the beach relays on. And you've got to think, while there are some specialist beach relay teams, a lot of those teams were probably relying on their water athletes to cover that race. So just the Tetris logistics of trying to get athletes from one arena to the other, that adds a lot of time to your program.
Yes, we spoke about that a lot down in the beach arena, and it will be similar here in the pool. There's only a certain number of athletes that each club team can enter into these World Championships. So you cannot bring an unlimited number of athletes from your club. So you do need to be a little bit strategic in which athletes you're nominating into which event, and it might be the case that you may be a runner and having to jump in for a line throw or for a swim, and vice versa. A lot of our swimmers are lining up in those beach relays as well for our youth competitors. So we're just taking a small break here at the moment while our officials set the pool for the 200 Super Lifesaver heats for women. We'll be up first.
Yep, I just actually popped my head out just to have a look at the marshalling area. It looks like they're just getting the first of the ladies through. So we might take a quick sort of 3 to 5 minute break here, Christy, and we will be back for the heats of the Women's Super Lifesaver in just a moment. And a big welcome back. We have the heats for the women's 200 metre Super Lifesaver coming up very soon. We can see the first of our athletes making their way out onto pool deck and starting their preparations now. So we will have 4 ladies in this first heat, and we've already collapsed a few of those races. Love to see that. Heat 2 is officially what we will be starting with, and there are 12 heats in total for the Super Lifesaver. So great to see Jessica Harkis from Woodridge Surf Lifesaving Club, Bianca Raywood from Burleigh Heads Mowbray Park, and Tara Schotter, Alyssa Tapper, both lining up from BMD Northcliffe. Wonderful to have them in the mix here now. Tara, she will be in lane number 5. You can see she will be the bottom of those yellow lane ropes. She actually competed for New Zealand, the junior Blackfins, at the national teams competition just last week. She made the B final in this event, the 200 Super Lifesaver, a time of 2:38 there. So fantastic swim, nearly at home in the A final. And you can see the girls making their way through, getting ready for a start. Bianca Raywood, she was in the mix as well. She was in the A final, a time of 2:40, got her 7th position overall. So a few of our international ladies, and we do talk about the bolters. We are expecting some fast times from this very early race now. This is heat number 2 for the ladies in the Super Lifesaver. So we are expecting a few withdrawals, especially in these early heats, but wonderful to see that the officials and the athletes working together, getting everyone signed in, because Munners, you never want to do a Super Lifesaver by yourself.
No, have you had that experience, Jen? I haven't. I haven't done as many Super Lifesavers, obviously, as yourself. Former world record holder, world champ. So very lucky to have you on board here to bring us these heats.
Yeah, and the girls, you never want to go out too fast. And for both the international and the interclub competition, we had the incredible Francisco Ippolito. He's the current world record holder. He won the world championships. And we asked him about his race plan because he's just phenomenal. He wins everything. He looks so calm while he does it. And we were having a chat and he's like, oh, well, I don't use my legs for the first 3 laps. And we were just thinking,
what a luxury.
Oh my God, how is he, 2:02.98 is his world record now for a 200 metre Super Lifesaver. So you can't go out too early. And you know what, if it's good enough for Francisco Ippolito, it's good enough for us. But the girls pacing this one really, really nicely so far. They know they are in these early heats. They probably knew that they'd be swimming by themselves, as well as we can see in lane 3. That is Bianca Raywood. Fast start for her. She actually had her feet to the wall in 30.88 on that first 50.
So she has gone out hard.
That is quick. And you've got to love that confidence. I love that the girls are really backing themselves here and saying, look, I've been in the A final before. I know how to do a Super Lifesaver. And geez Louise, does she know how to put her fins on quickly? That was impressive.
It was an impressive fin on. Under fatigue, it's not an easy skill to do, is it, Jen? So all of our competitors getting away, no trouble at all. Interesting technique there from Bianca, choosing more of a porpoise down the pool.
Yep, that is also one of the real changes that we've seen in the last 2 years since the last World Championships campaign. Both the men and the women often going underwater far more than what Bianca was doing there. And they'd probably head under for like sort of 10, 15 metres, come up, big breath. And for some of them who are really strong with the fins on, who have that incredible kick, they were gapping the field every single time. So really keen to see if that is something that is here to stay as we continue to innovate. But a fantastic clip up there from Tara Schotter from Northcliffe. Really some extra time there for her.
Yeah, a little bit of improvement to be made for Bianca Raywood as she progressed through these rounds. Not a bad clip up, but she'll be able to shave some time off that. You can really see there Tara Schotter making some ground up on her ever so slightly as she heads towards the wall. So Bianca Raywood will hit in first place, conscious of really wanting to bank a solid time here as she knows there's going to be some fast swimmers to follow.
Well, you've got to think that is I would say early. That's super close to an A final. Bianca Raywood went 2:40 in the A final last week to throw a 2:34 now. Knowing that she's probably got 2 seconds that she's giving away on that clip up at the other end of the pool, the fact that these girls continue to perform, to continue to get better, Bianca Raywood should be so proud of that performance out by herself, and I'm hoping that she has she's got so much confidence coming into the final.
She actually almost looked like I don't want to say cruising, but she looked so in control in that race. It almost looked like she has another gear to find in that final. So a very, very solid time. You can see just hesitating slightly on that clip up. So losing herself probably a couple of seconds, which is exciting to know you've got some time to find in the final.
And the fact that you don't have to swim any faster to lose that time as well, that's fantastic. Super impressed with her final though. That is some of the best that we've seen so far. And the official results coming through now. 2:34.21 for Bianca Raywood. Tara Schotter, our junior blackfin from last week. She would love to improve on that B final performance into the A for the Interclub, but it's going to be tough. We can see we are already skipping to heat number 4. If you're following along on live heats, we are now at heat number 4 due to some withdrawals. We're collapsing these heats. We don't want to be adding extra time into the program here. So top of the screen we have Regan Copsey from Maroochydore, Shah Merchant in the mix from Tweed Heads and Coolangatta, Charlotte Baumer from Wanda, Ellen Hodkinskin is in lane number 4 from Clifton, and in lane 7 closest to us on the bottom of the screen, a big welcome to J.O. Prey from Maroochydore.
She's out on her own there, isn't she, lane 7? That would be a strange feeling, but also nice just to zone in on your own race. Swimmers hitting the water now. What I loved about the 200 Super Lifesaver is there's so many technical things to think about. It gives you a bit of a distraction to the pain that your body is in. That's what I would always find. You're swimming down this lane, you're thinking about what's happening when you hit the wall, and then the next thing, and then the next thing. There's constant focus, which is the mental challenge of the 200 Super Lifesaver.
And for someone like J.O. Prey, who is swimming out by herself there in lane 7, I think a real advantage of having that space and having that clean water, especially at the 150 mark where they come in and grab those mannequins for the clip up there, the fact that it's still and calm water around your mannequin, I think that's actually a real advantage. You're not having the bow wave that comes through when you have an entire field around you. You can really control your race, focus on the mannequin. She's doing a great job so far. A nice clean pickup. We can see the girls across the pool. She's also breathing to her right, so she gets to eyeball everyone else. She knows where she is in this race.
Yeah, it's very easy to get distracted by the competitors around you. Sometimes it can be a little bit off-putting of your own race plan. So J.O. Prey, closest to the bottom of the screen there, doing a great job, possibly slipping back just into second place.
But as expected, these Super Lifesavers, they really do come down to these technical elements now. So if you haven't watched a few Super Lifesavers in your time, at the 100 mark now, you can see the girls have set up their fins and tube on the side of the pool. And as soon as they come through, they have to touch the wall before they can drop the mannequin. Then it's fins and tube on. And from here, essentially, it's a 100 toe.
We saw a little bit of a slower fin on there from J.O. Prey compared to Bianca in that first heat. Is there any advantage, Jen, in sizing up in your fins, or is it, like you said, you've just got to practice it 1,000 times over?
You've got to practice a lot. I know some of our athletes now do have the luxury of having multiple fins. They may be maybe sets that they wear for the 100 toe or the 100 carry, where they can already start on the block. So if you have a tighter pair of fins, that's probably what they choose to start with. Just keeping an eye on these clip-ups. Come on, girls, go, go, go. But to putting your fins on in the middle of the race, that is really tough, and often you will see some different equipment being used. That's a luxury, though, to have more than one pair of fins. They're not cheap, but it's whatever you get used to. And what I do love is that there's quite a community of, can I borrow some fins? Do we have a club pair of fins? So there is quite the trading of fins throughout these races. But the girls would have done so many of these in practice. They know what they need to do. We can see J.O. Prey again just on the lane rope there. Fantastic finish, really stroking strongly to the wall. But at the top of screen, it is going to be Regan Copsey who comes through in a 2:51.90. So great to see some times on the board for the girls. J.O. Prey 2:54. And the relief when you are done with the Super Lifesaver. A lot of our athletes would be really focusing in on this one, but as you said, you know how much it's going to hurt. You know you're in for a terrible time sometimes. But the girls getting it done, and we think about those barriers under 3 minutes. Always a great performance.
Yeah, solid swim times being posted there by the teams. As we've mentioned, a different energy system being used from those 50s that we saw this morning. Those were swum in around late 30 to 40 second times. This one, 2.5 to 3 minutes the time in the water. So you really do need to work out how you can, it's a sprint, isn't it? But you need to save a little bit in the tank for that final 50.
And actually, now that you talk about these different energy systems and the durations of the races, something that I did want to ask you about, you know, you've been down at the beach for many of our ocean competitions. Looking at that M-shaped ocean race, I think some of those races were nudging the 25-30 minute mark. That looked so tough.
It certainly looked tough. I was very glad to be standing on the sand and commentating the amazing athletes running around. Not only were the time in the water long, the transitions were long. So just the energy systems that the athletes were racing in, but also the difficulty of using your arms while you're in the water and then switching to using your legs on the sand. And we spoke about this 200 Super Lifesaver being the Ironman, Ironwoman event of the pool. Interestingly, Bianca Raywood came out as the youth Iron champion in the beach in the previous few days, and she has set the fastest time here. We've only had 2 heats, so we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but she set a really solid time. So you mentioned going even faster at the back end of these 2 weeks of racing. So that's a little bit scary, isn't it? She's fatigued, but she's getting faster.
Oh, we do love that for our athletes. So if you're following along on live heats, it is now Heat 5 coming up, also known as the battle between Canada and Great Britain here. We have Julianne Gaudreault in the top of the screen, lane 1. Samantha McGrath, Hey Sammy in the mix there from Maroochydore. Canada's Naval Sauvetage in lane 3. That's Rose Fortin. But then in 5, 7 and 8, it is all Retford and District Lifesaving Club. Wonderful to have so many of our GB friends in the mix. And the fact that they've all drawn the same heat together here must feel very funny for them. But the familiarity of seeing each other in the marshalling area, that there's some nice comfort in that as well.
There certainly is. We've mentioned, you know, these World Champions haven't been run, the Interclub World Championships haven't been run since 2018. So a lot of these athletes won't have raced each other before from the different nations. So there is a certain comfort that comes with having a teammate in one of your heats. You can know where you're paced against them. They should know where they're sitting when they have a little bit of a look across the pool.
And a friendly face, if nothing else.
Yes, I think it might be perhaps Isabel Wilkinson from the Redford and District Lifesaving Club doing a fantastic job for her team.
Yep, in lane 5, Eva Chapman. She's locked in a great little battle at the moment with Samantha McGrath on the top of screen. Samantha up in lane 2 in the black cap for the Black Swans. But we do love what this is probably one of my favourite parts of the race here, this fourth 25 metres. So they've done 75 metre swim, 25 metre carry. This is where you can really see who's done the work. And if we think of super lifesavers, I always think of Magali Rousseau from France. She's 36 years old. She's still a world champion. She got the double across the international and the interclub teams. And watching her carry when she's tired, when she's carrying under fatigue, that is her move. That 25 carry when she's tired, she is just so much stronger than everyone else. It's a joy to watch.
That's a real weapon to have, isn't it? You could be able to pull that out at the back end of your race. You can see there Samantha McGrath from Maroochydore having a little bit of a difficulty with that fin on, but still able to hold the lead marginally over Eva Chapman from Redford and District in lane 5. Coming in for the final clip up. One more 50 metre to go.
A big thumbs up for the officials at the end of the pool there, and a great clip up there for Sammy.
That was better.
Yeah, that's what we want to see. Retford and District just pulling away now. And Christy, we were talking earlier about the familiarity of having your teammates or people speaking the same language in the marshalling area. For some of our Australian competitors, we held the Australian Pool Rescue Championships here at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre maybe 4 weeks ago now. Even that can be an advantage, knowing the pool, knowing how things work, just the feel for the environment, that can help as well.
Most definitely. It's almost like a dress rehearsal for some of our Australian athletes. We do hear swimmers talk about different pools. It all probably looks like similar water to us, but athletes certainly have their favourite pools, warm-up pools and venues to compete at. So Samantha McGrath touching the wall in first place there from Maroochydore Surf Club in a time of 3:05. So just over that 3-minute barrier.
Yep, that'll be one that she's chasing again soon. And just watching live heats pop up and completing more of the splits as our ladies come through. Again, wonderful intel to really see how did it go on lap one. Okay, Sammy McGrath went out on a 33.47. Eva was out in 33.97. Or even just to know what sort of time you've got for that fourth and final lap, where you can do some improvement. Also, how was I compared to other athletes in different heats? Like, this is really great intel.
Yeah, we can see a replay here of the swimmers coming down that first 50 clean tumble turn. They pick up that mannequin at the 75 metre mark, toe at 25. That's when you can see the athletes putting on their tube and fins for that final tow home. Jen, is there any restrictions in how far out you need to be with your fin on and also your clip up?
Oh, Christy, I'm so glad you asked me this question. I hadn't told you this earlier, but I did bring my rule book with me
I thought
here
you might.
as well, because I needed to brush up. I wanted to make sure we were giving all the right information here. So when putting on your fin and your tube, after touching the wall edge and within the 10 metre changeovers there, you've got to fix the rescue tube correctly around the mannequin toe. So we can see at the other end of the pool there will be markers on the side of the pool for that 10 metre mark there, and then I think it's within 10 for both of
so
those.
Fairly generous changeover area, because I was looking at the flags, which I believe is about 5 metres, so they've got a little bit more of a grace period to put on those fins and clip up that mannequin.
Yep, so for the towing the mannequin, the line of the rescue tube has to be fully extended beyond the 10 metre line. And we talk about there's so many ways to be disqualified in a race. I know for the Masters competition, I was fulfilling a different role, and they gave me a radio and an earpiece, which meant that I was dialed into the officials' radio channel, which was great to get a little bit of an inside view of what was happening. But it also meant that I was privy to all of the disqualification calls. And of course, we have to make sure, the officials are making the correct decisions. It's all documented. It's all very correct. And they have to say, lane 6, so I'm going to use you, lane 6, Chrissy Munro disqualified. But they also have to give a disqualification code and say, well, why? You can't just say she's out or she's gone. And they generally have an A, B, C, D, whatever code. And in the Super Lifesaver, the disqualification codes go all the way through to T. It's too many.
So there's a lot of areas you need to cross your T and dot your I in this particular event. Nothing too much can go wrong, though, in that first 50. Just a straight 50 for our competitors. You can see there
Ryan Spence from North Burleigh up the top of the screen in lane 1. A fantastic competitor. Saw her in action in the Aussie Pool Champs, and a lot of NB pride happening here. We see North Burleigh everywhere on the ocean. You go to a junior carnival, you go to Nipper State or Youth State, green caps everywhere, green togs everywhere. And Ryan Spence, one of the few competitors making the transition here to the pool competition, and how great is it to see her repping the club and now out in front.
She's certainly performing strongly in the first half of this 200 Super Lifesaver, taking about 4 strokes, 2 strokes to a breath now as she starts to fatigue, looking for that wall she'll touch there. So you've got to touch the wall before you drop that mannequin. Make sure you collect your fins and tube with the right hand as to not waste any of those precious seconds as they tick by. It feels like it's about 30 seconds. It may only be about 5 seconds, but you absolutely feel the pressure of that moment. She's away now with her fins and tube.
And fantastic work, Julia Dumont in lane 4, probably the best of the Finons there. That's allowed her to move up. She's in the top of the 2 yellow lanes there. We can see her just starting to push onto screen now. Really keen to see if Ryan Spence still has enough in the tank, if she can get the tube on very quickly here, but because she's got some company coming very soon. Alison Lavoie and Julia Dumont chasing hard.
Still looking strong out in front as she goes for that tube clip up. Very controlled. She knows she's got the lead, just making sure it's done right. She's away now, so we'll wait to see what that time is. I would have predicted it'll be still somewhat behind the time laid down in that first heat from Bianca Raywood.
She's looking fantastic, though. The fact that she's still got this good stroke rate going, she still looks very, very smooth. You can see she's got that good kick rate happening as well. And this is the time where you're just hoping that it's over very, very soon. It feels as though you're not moving at all. You feel as though your mannequin has doubled in weight behind you. It is absolutely the worst, but it looks like we're on track for another sub 3 minute time. So huge congratulations to Ryan Spence, at 2:52.68 on the board there, and she was able to really hold off those chasing competitors. We see the girls just underneath the flags now, and that wind looks like it's picking up a little bit just looking at those fluttering in the breeze. There we go. So Alison Lavoie, 3:07.47. Lena Müller from Germany, 3:09 for her. Julia Dumont, 3:11.95. And what an achievement. You've raced the 200 metre Super Lifesaver. You've done it at the World Championships. We get to talk about you on the live stream as well. Ladies, you're absolute superstars. And that girl right there, Ryan Spence from North Burleigh. And again, love that the athletes are taking their tube off really quickly, because you do have the next heat lining up already. They're hovering at the block saying, can I have your tube,
Can I
please?
have that to set up, please? So, yeah, the athletes you'll see will set up their own fins and tube. Just a little bit of a replay now of that heat that we've just seen unfold. And it was right from that first 50 that Ryan Spence was setting the pace. Didn't look like she was too spent at the end.
But I love seeing those clip-ups. And this was the fin on. This is where she had a little bit of difficulty. But again, this is where she'll be working with her coach, Liam Ryan from North Burleigh, just taking a look through, saying, where can we improve? What are we doing? And the fact that she's got this video footage to look back and say, well, do I get a bigger push off the wall before I put my fins on? I mean, that was a pretty good clip-up. She's got to be happy with that. And the fact that she looked this smooth and this strong 3 minutes into the racing, fantastic finish. 2:52 for her.
Yeah, a sure sign of fatigue in that final 50 is when they really start to shorten up their stroke, where we didn't see that at all there from Ryan Spence.
And that is heat 6 done, Christy. Get excited. 6 done, and we will have 12 in total. We can see the next of the ladies about to line up now, just getting the high fives from the officials as they make their way through. And we can see the start list for heat number 7 coming up next. We have Emma Pretz from DLRG Valenda, Aurélie Perron from Club d'Entraînement en Sauvetage, Manja Jami from Norderstedt, Carolyn Coda from Bietigheim-Bissingen, Sophie Koitka from Gütersloh, and Florence Leclerc from Club d'Entraînement en Sauvetage in the mix. So loving seeing a few more ladies in the race. We don't want to have too many blank lanes here. We want to give our athletes the best possible chance to race the best of the best here at the Lifesaving World Championships.
A real international contingent here in heat number 7. It's a battle between the German clubs. We've got a couple of clubs in there from Canada as well.
Yep, great start. Middle of the field as well. That is Carolyn Coda, and this is where we talk about the girls being able to look back and find those splits. She's gone out feet to the wall in a time of 33.22, so strong start.
Yeah, we'd expect most of those swimmers who want to make that A final to go out in a low 30s and that first 50.
Sorry to interrupt. And we see the girls go through, do the pickups there. So using the national teams as a little bit of a guide, I think the A qualification time was probably around the 2:32 mark. I'd say that'd be a touch higher for the interclubs, but I do love being proved wrong when swimmers just are so much faster than I anticipate. The B qualifier, probably about that 2:40, 2:45, 2:46 mark from there. So really keen to see how these races progress, because we have got a fantastic race in front of us right now. The girls, 4 of them all touching together. Let's get those fins on.
Competitor there, second closest to the screen, choosing to tow the mannequin on her back. So that's a different technique that we haven't seen many of our athletes do, but it's worked quite well for her. Our 4 leaders racing off down that third 50. Still not too much separating, or nothing separating our lead 3. So the closest heat we've seen so far in the women's 200 Super Lifesaver.
Yep, do love that. At the top of your screen in the orange coloured cap, that is Emma Pretz from DLRG Valenda. In lane 4, we have Aurélie Perron, and 6, that looks to be Carolyn Coda from Bietigheim-Bissingen. Now, we know how good they were yesterday in the 100 tow, so I am watching that navy blue cap in lane number 6, and my gosh, what a performance. She knows what she's doing. A little bit of trouble for Emma at the top of the pool, and that has allowed Carolyn Coda a fantastic little jump on the rest of the field.
Yeah, she just wanted to check that her mannequin wasn't going to flip around and face the other way. So a smart readjustment, but it did cost her a couple of seconds. She's fighting back now, almost fighting back to equal first. I think she will touch the wall in second place.
Yep, that's fantastic racing there from Carolyn. But thinking about what you're saying there about Emma, that's a really great presence of mind. That's a really smart decision. She was a little uncertain. She didn't leave anything to chance. She's still done a fantastic time here, Emma coming through in a 2:55.86. But Carolyn, the skills from Bietigheim-Bissingen again continue to be a joy to me. She touches the wall in a time of 2:52.06, and she left nothing to chance in those changeovers.
Yeah, she looked very, very strong. It's a great hit out. It's a great confidence boost when you can get through a heat and nail all of your clip-ups and pick-ups.
And it's always a different feeling when you touch the wall, and if you are lucky enough or if you're good enough to make those B or the A finals, it's really telling what sort of attitude you have towards it. Did you touch the wall and know you've made a final and you're like, oh no, I have to do it again, that's terrible news? Or do you touch the wall and go, fantastic, we're going again. I think I've got more. I think I can do something really special. Oh, she takes a little look around, but Canada, Naval Sauvetage, really great on the clip-ups there. And we're just about to see, that's where she does the look back, doesn't she? Top of your screen.
Yeah, it just starts to go ever so slightly sideways. So well picked up there from that competitor. She was able to quickly readjust and still finish in second place. As you mentioned, a sub 3 minute time. So very, very strong time, and still with some seconds to shave off.
I'm just really impressed with the maturity of our athletes. The fact that she could feel something wasn't quite right, and she said, look, for half a second, I can turn around, check what's happening, give the line a pull off, and just to reorient the mannequins. So Emma Pretz, Christy and I would love any other tips that you'd like to send our way, just in life in general. We would really appreciate your guidance. But we are up again already. Heat number 8 is on the line. Loving this, Carla Drury. She will be top of your screen from Elwood Lifesaving Club. Josiane Lavatu from Naval Sauvetage is in 2. Amber Rose Perry, she is in lane 3, the first of our bright yellow caps there, next door to Eliza Parrish from Alexandra Headlands in the yellow as well. Rose St. Gelais La Montagne from Canada, Charlie Barber from Newport, and Erica Obel from Mairangi Bay. And wonderful to see Charlie Barber here in lane 7. Newport would have been absolutely everywhere on the beach with you yesterday. So strong in the ocean, so strong at the beach, but not too many of their competitors making their way down to the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre.
Yeah, there were plenty of Newport caps in the ocean events, as we always expect. So great to see Charlie Barber here lining up heat number 8 of the women's 200 Super Lifesaver, and off to a fairly solid start as well, possibly taking the lead in this first 50. So she's laying it down to the rest of her competitors. Eliza Parrish from Alexandra Headlands looks to tumble turn there in second. She does. So
yeah, we love seeing the splits here. So it was Charlie Barber, 31.97 feet on the wall. So a really strong first 50 there. She was great in the 200 obs yesterday. Really, really strong swimmer, which is why we love seeing her in the ocean as well. So good in a surf race. But great to see her lining up here. Lane 7, so Newport. In the ocean, it's a yellow cap with the 2 maroon stripes, but she's got the white Newport cap on here. Lane 7 stroking really strongly just at the bottom end of the pool here.
Yeah, you're spot on there, Jen. So it does look like the outside 2 lanes here are really starting to make a move. Eliza Parrish also fighting back there. She's probably slipped down to about 4th position.
Oh, this is where I get so nervous for the girls. I just want to see them get that second fin on. I want to see the arm go up and around as they move. And Charlie Barber just making her way through now, and it looks to be neck and neck still with Eliza Parrish.
It was a slow fin on there for that particular heat. So Eliza Parrish came into the wall in 4th or 5th position, but has spun around in equal first. So huge gains made by her there, and could tell to be costly for some of our other competitors. Very, very important seconds, and it will be quite a fine cutoff, as we've seen, between that A and B final.
Absolutely. We can see the girls going through for the clip up now. They do have to touch the wall before their handler releases the mannequin. And while it is an individual event, you do have to have a handler wearing the same cap as you at the other end of the field. But it looks like Eliza Parrish is away and she is about to extend her lead on the rest of the field. Charlie Barber just getting that clip up done now. But in lane number 8, Erica Morangi Bay, what a clip up from her. As you say, it's valuable seconds everywhere. Erica Orbell has just blitzed the field and she's made up some fantastic time.
This is going to be a heat 1 on skills. So Eliza Parrish wasn't necessarily the fastest in that flat water swimming, but made up so much time in her finons and clip up. And just as important as practicing that speed aspect, those skills so important. So Eliza Parrish hitting the wall there, a very impressive time of 2:54.65.
Yeah, fantastic work, Eliza. Great swim. Charlie Barber comes through 2:59.68. So again, under the 3-minute mark. That's what we want to see. And in third, it is Carla Drury at the top of the screen. Fantastic swim for her. Carla touching in 3:02.08. Erica Orbell, that 3:02.33 set up by that fantastic clip up at the 1:50 mark. And Christy, as we get those broader shots of the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre, again, I'm just amazed that we've had close on to 2 weeks of near perfect weather here. I know we had 1 or 2 days where it was a little cooler, a few days where it was very, very warm, but I just love that we're getting to show not only the best athletes, but we're really showcasing the Gold Coast as part of this Lifesaving World Championships. We see so many of the athletes that we follow on social media. They've really been making the most of their time here. I think Australia Zoo tickets have skyrocketed. Everyone is just really seeing what else there is to see here on the Gold Coast and more broadly in Queensland.
Yeah, we love hosting our visitors from all around the world. And as you mentioned, beautiful weather for our World Lifesaving Championships, an open air pool here on the Gold Coast, which most of our pools in Queensland are. A lot of our local competitors, will be used to competing in open air pools. I would imagine a lot of our European athletes, quite the opposite, probably more used to training in indoor pools. So that'll be a nice change for them to get used to.
Wonderful change, but I think what we were talking about yesterday or the day before with Harold was something that we haven't really had to consider before, but for so many of our athletes who only train indoors, doing the line throw in an open air environment was actually really challenging, and they were quite nervous leading into that, again, high risk, high reward race.
Yes, a whole lot of other elements to contend with, including the wind and the sun.
But the girls are away. This is Heat 9 if you're following along on liveheats.com. And 2 of our Mordiallic gals in the mix. Zoe Makeda in lane number 1. Bella Murchie next to her, the club mates together in 1 and 2. Stephanie Staniforth, watch out for her. She was fantastic in the 100 toe yesterday. So very much expecting her to be very strong. She will really build through this race, expecting big things in the second half. Mara Walter from Lukenwald, she is in lane 5. And Ruby Simmons from Sunshine Coast Grammar Pool Lifesaving Club. Wonderful to have her and the Sunshine Grammar Pool here. They've had a fantastic race. Their opens were phenomenal. They picked up some incredible results yesterday at the Ocean. And for now, Ruby Simmons turning in 31.91. Strong start for her as the girls head down, collect those mannequins in heat number 9.
Yeah, you called it correct there. Bella Murchie hitting the wall in first place, only ever so slightly ahead of Stephanie from Bulli. So we can see Bulli now really making a move in this second 50, extending her lead out to close to a body length, which is a nice buffer going into this tube and fin-on. So you'll see her hit the wall, drop the mannequin, and in one swift motion, put that tube over her head. 1 fin in. Has she got 2 fins? She does. So that's probably one of the better fin-ons we've seen today.
Absolutely. Really impressed with Stephanie Staniforth, and also her 25 carry there without fin. She looked really smooth. Her stroke weight was strong, and I love that she took that confidence into that fin on. It's great to see. And as we said, she was on the dais yesterday. Fantastic at the 100 toe for her. This is the easy part now.
Yeah, if we know she's that good with the fins and tube, and she's already started with a lead, we would expect her to hold on to that now in this heat number 9, extending her lead. You can see touching the wall there, grabbing the mannequin. How quick can she do the clip up? that was pretty smooth.
Yeah, I'd say that was probably the second clip for her, but I love that when she touched the wall, she clearly knew what she was doing. Often we see athletes get there and they're like, oh no, what happens now? But for Stephanie, she was like, touch the wall, bring the tube up around on those medal clips as quickly as possible, and that's the experience, that's the confidence that comes with being a world medalist. And have a look at her go now. The kick is solid. She looks really, really calm. But a big shout out to the girls from Mordialloc, Bella Murchie and Zoe McKenna, still in the mix here, going very, very well in the blue caps at the top of the screen. Really impressed with that performance.
Yes, coming home strongly. Top end of the pool there, you can see the two teammates from Mordialloc almost going to touch the wall in equal second place.
Yeah, 6/100ths of a second between the two girls from Mordialloc. But great work there. Stephanie Staniforth, yep, she looks pretty satisfied on the wall there. Fantastic skills, really building into that race, and a 2:49.15 for Stephanie. And I know we still have a few heats to go. We've got 10, 11. Oh, we've only got 3 heats remaining. Okay, 3 heats remaining for the Super Lifesaver as we get to watch the highlights back of that race very, very quickly. Stephanie, this was really good. We just watch now. She gets one fin on, grabs the second one. It's really important to keep your feet together or as high as possible as well when you're doing those fin-ons. You don't want to be losing the fins in the water. They do have those big blades that get moved around very quickly, but we can see hands straight on the medal clips, which is what you want. She misses that first clip but recovers really well, straight back on the second time.
Yeah, just a fraction of a second slower than she would have liked there, but a very quality heat swim. I'd say she'll be happy with that one.
And that will actually place her in third position overall. We can see the official results coming through now, 2:48 for her, 2:48.83. So we've got Bianca Raywood in 1, 2:34, Tara Schotter 2:43, and now Stephanie Staniforth 2:48. So that's how they sit at the moment. But we've got 3 big heats coming through. I think heat number 12 looks a little skinny, a few more withdrawals there. But for now, Chiara Kiesel in 1 from Nita Olmorstadt. We've got Kaya Gessner from Norderstedt, Isla Petherbridge, who took out the 100 toe yesterday. I have more to say on her in a moment, from Mairangi Bay. Madison Jones from the Currumbin Beach Vikings, Eve Cervenak from Tugun, Indy Bland from Maroochydore, and Ellie D. Etherington from Currumbin. So close to a full heat there, only missing lane number 4. And Chrissy, we do love seeing the different setups on pool deck. So it's up to the ladies to choose if they want to put their fins and tube on the left or the right-hand side of the blocks. It's really whatever works best for you. And as long as it's safe, the officials will basically let you do whatever you need to. And as long as you're not getting in the way of someone on either lane, or either lane next to you.
So is there a preference? Is it a right-handed, left-handed type of a setup, or it's just whatever you've practiced?
Whatever you've practiced, chances are whatever hand you stroke with when you're swimming in, you're probably going to have your fins and tube as close as possible, just for a little bit of extra efficiency on the way through. But I do often like when we're at the Aussie Pool Champs, when we're down on pool deck, if we just get to have a bit of a wander around, just taking a little bit of a peek to see how do they do it, what works for them. And the girls are always so particular generally. You can see they've got like the centimetre precision on where the strap falls, where it is, how far it is over the edge of the pool as well. But I did say I wanted to talk about Isla Petherbridge from Mairangi Bay. She is in lane 3, so Mairangi Bay, she's going to come in maybe third at this first changeover there, the big thumbs up. And the Mairangi Bay cap, it is the red and blue on the top of the screen. So she did one of the most amazing 100 toes yesterday. She actually came through for the win yesterday in a time that would have taken out the international comp last week. And she didn't know that until we told her down on pool deck. We're like, do you realise just how fast you've gone? And she was like, that's amazing. I had no idea.
What a nice surprise, getting out of the water and being rewarded with that type of information on top of what was already a fantastic swim. It's a very interesting race to call this one. We've spoken about the athletes who excel in that 100 toe, so we'd expect them to be prominent in the second half of this race. Swimming without fins is a whole different ball game, so a lot of these athletes will be stronger at the front end as opposed to some really working on their second 100. That was a fantastic tube and fin on. Probably not a huge amount of technical advances in this particular race over the last 15 or so years, except for this third 50, where they are opting to do more of that dolphin underwater swim. That's probably one of the biggest changes, as you've mentioned. It's a little bit deceiving. It doesn't look like they're going faster, but they obviously are. It almost looks like it's a bit of a rest for the shoulders diving in there. Obviously a little bit more taxing on your lungs, having to hold your breath in that underwater component.
Yep, taxing on the lungs, taxing on the legs, but I am loving the work of Madison Jones. She was really quick on the fin on. She's nailed this clip up as well. She's got a gorgeous lead on the rest of the field, and as you said, she's one of those athletes who is really quite strong with the legs, so she's saying, no, it's worth going under here, and it's so amazing to watch that change. And as expected, Isla Petherbridge coming home very strongly. She's the world champion in the 100 toe for a reason, challenging Madison Jones now, but I love that Madison is just getting the job done. She wasn't first out on the wall for that first 50, but she was in the mix. She's nailed her skills. She carries well. She is going to finish this strongly, looking very, very good at the end. And I think this will be one of the faster times that we have seen from the last few heats. She touches the wall, yes, there in a time of 2:42.11. Isla Petherbridge, a fantastic finish for her, 2:42.7. And it's going to be Indy Bland from Maroochydore coming through in third, a 2:43. So the time's starting to come down now as expected, because we only have 2 heats remaining. So I'm going to take a little sneaky peek at the top 8. So Madison Jones, we can see her on screen at the moment, that white cap of the Currumbin Vikings. Just keep an eye on her through the replay here. She was just getting the job done. No, just did everything right.
Fast out in that first 100, you're right, Jen, and she probably knew she had the world champ in Isla chasing her down for that second 100, so did a fantastic job to keep her at bay, and it didn't look as though Isla took a huge amount of distance off her in that last 50, so that is going to be a great confidence boost for the race plan of Madison Jones. Going into the final, she'll know if she can do a really fast first 100, that's going to be her best chance at holding the world champ at bay for that fast final 100 metres.
Yeah, fantastic race. Wonderful to see that. We'll see the official results come through now. Loving that all 7 ladies are through cleanly here. Madison Jones, her time of 2:42.11, and for Isla, 2:42.7. That actually puts them in second and third position overall. So Bianca Raywood, who was in that very first heat, 2:34. She is well clear of the rest of the field. Madison Jones is in second, Isla in 3, Indy Bland from Maroochydore in 4. So only 2 heats to go, and we can see the ladies lining up already. We've got Jet Kerman from Lukenwald in lane number 1, Isabel Graf from Nieder-Ohnwarstadt in 2, Amaya Lopez from Mordialloc in 3, Alina Wagner from Lukenwald. On screen, Olivia Tukia. Gosh, she was fantastic in that 50 carry earlier today, so you've got to expect her, she will be in the mix at that halfway mark for sure, knowing how strongly she can carry. And then closest to us in lanes 7 and 8, it is a Sunshine Coast Grammar Pool Lifesaving Club reunion. Emily and Courtney Fitzgerald, 7 and 8, the girls together there. And after this, we have one more heat, and there are only 4 girls in that race. So I think there's a huge opportunity for some of these ladies to get some good times on the board. The majority of our finalists probably could come from these next 2 races.
Yeah, you mentioned we expect the speed to pick up here. That last heat we saw in the water, every swimmer going under that 3-minute barrier. So that's going to be at least what it takes, you would expect, to get yourself a spot in one of our finals this afternoon. But it's the A final that our athletes want to get. That's what they're here for.
And how good is that? Olivia Tukia looking very strong on screen in lane 5. Again, those yellow lane ropes just help us differentiate the athletes, and Olivia lane 5. So the yellow lane ropes to the bottom of your screen. What a pickup. She knows that this is her strength right now. She's really working it. Have a look at the kick. Have a look at the stroke rate. She's half a body length, nearly a body length clear of the rest of the field. Alina Wagner is in lane 4, the black cap just to the top of her. Isabel Graf from Germany also looking very, very good in lane number 2.
It's the slowest part of the race, that third 25. So if you can make up some distance, it's a real advantage. You want to be moving ahead of the field while they're still on that slowest component. Fin on now, little bit of hesitation. Ooh, so she gives away a little bit of her lead. She's joined now by 2 of her fellow competitors.
Yep, Isabel Graf and Amaya Lopez, fantastic work there, and that's really allowed Amaya in particular, racing for Great Britain, looking very, very strong there. I know, Amaya, sorry. She's Great Britain on the program here for the live heat system, but she's actually racing now for Morty Alex. So she's in the bright blue cap now, currently in the lead as Olivia Tukia falls into third. But it's all about this third and final skill. Come on, girls, let's get these clip-ups done. And Amaya, what a race. She is now well clear of the rest of the field. She is going to be followed home by Isabel Graf. Fantastic racing. And Olivia Tukia, now we know she's got a great 50 on her here, but the race is on. And Amaya Lopez, what a swim for her from Morty Alec.
Amaya Lopez, she's been dominant in this second 100. We knew that Olivia would go out hard in the first 100, which she did, but that's going to be her strength. So she's going to battle to hang on to third, but it's all Amelia Lopez, Morty Alec on screen, cruising in to take out this heat number 11.
And a great finish there from Alina Wagner from Germany. Alina racing from Luckenwald. 2:38.45 for Alina. That is fantastic. And again, you can see she's pretty pooped now. The girls giving it everything. They want to be in that A final. And again, Amaya 2:36, Alina 2:38. Just going to go back and have a look at the leaderboard. So Alina is now third overall with that 2:38. Olivia, okay, she's still in the A final for now. Olivia Tukia with that 2:43. She is now seventh overall. It's going to be tough. Bianca Raywood still well out by herself in a time of 2:34, but we can see the heats, the times as they progress are getting a little bit quicker, but only 4 girls yet to swim. So even if all of them are faster than, or the 4 fastest qualifiers, that means that Bianca Raywood, Amaya Lopez, Alina Wagner and Madison Jones will all be in that A final.
That's a nice position to be in as are we watching on for this final heat number 12. We have 2 of our competitors from Canada, Anna-Marie Skinder and Abigail Skinder from the Pacific Swim Academy, Gemma Holt from Morty Alec, Eleanor Flowers from Trig Island. Haven't seen a huge number of Trig Islands. We see a lot of them at the beach, a lot of their youth competitors at the beach.
And I think, Chrissy, one of the races of the carnival for me for the Open Interclub Championships, the medley relay for the men, it was one of the last races, I think, on day 2. And Trig Island had Kelton Rothney, Jake Smith and Harrison Hines and Steve Kent.
Oh, wow. Not a bad person to call into your team.
It was so funny because I was prepping for the races the night before, just looking at, who's backing up from internationals, who's in the program, who's withdrawn. And I saw Steve Kent's name in there and I was like, I wonder if, it's Trig Island, so it's a different country. It's not as though it's a hugely unique name. And then we rocked up. Jake Smith, master negotiator, put the hard word on Steve and said, hey, do you want to come and have a swim? You only have to do relays. I only need, at best, 50 metres at a time from you. And to see Steve Kent, the great blackfin, back in the ocean, and they won. It was one of the most dramatic races. Northcliffe DQ, Rane Rossi DQ, Trig Island, top of the podium, world champions. Steve Kent popped his shoulder out halfway through the race, popped it back in. It was madness.
I'm going to have to go back and watch that replay.
So good.
Talk about just dial in an Olympian. If only we all had those types of resources at our disposal. What an amazing story.
It was hilarious. It was a really great chat and the boys were dead on their feet. It was a huge race, but we need to concentrate now on this heat number 12 for the girls because Abigail Skinder, who is in lane 1, so top of the screen here, she was actually Canada's only individual medalist for the international pool comp. She got 3rd in this race, 3rd in the Super Lifesaver for the international teams, a time of 2:30. Got her there. It was a fantastic race to see her come through strong at the end. It was the touch on the wall with her and Sophia from Romania, but lane number 1, top of the field, Abigail Skinder, we would love to see her not only in an A final, but we get her on the podium again.
Yeah, well, she's gone out in a 32, so slower than Bianca Raywood did in heat number 1, but you can see where she's making up her time. It's in this second 100. That was a very, very fast and efficient fin-on, made up at least a couple of seconds there, so probably saving a little bit of extra energy in that first 50, but you can see where she's going to put the pressure on.
Yep, doing an incredible job there. And we can see that is Gemma Holt from Morty Alec, an Aussie team representative. She is in lane 5, just skimming under the water there, getting the big kicks in as Abigail, just a big reach on the tube there to come back around. She doesn't even look. That's how good she is at these clip-ups. That is why she is a World Championships medalist. Now she is on her way home, loving this racing. Wonderful to see.
That's something we don't see a lot, is doing the clip up while your head's out of the water, taking in some very valuable breaths while you just let that muscle memory guide you through that clip up. Very, very impressive there, Abigail Skinder.
Yep, doing a great job, and the girls coming through, nearly done. The best feeling ever when you're nearly finished with a super lifesaver, and this is going to be a fantastic time for Abigail Party Skinder, coming through at 2:35.01. Gemma Holt, great swim for her, 2:37. Eleanor Flowers from Trigg comes through 2:42, and Anna Marie, also a Skinder, in lane number 1. But 2:35.01, loving that time. This is going to be fantastic. It's going to be second overall as well. We can see she's on screen right now. She knows she's got the job done. She's put herself in a fantastic position, and love that she was pushed all the way by Gemma Holt as well. The two international competitors now racing for their clubs. So the A final, we're going to have Bianca Raywood, Abigail Skinder, Amaya Lopez, Gemma Holt, Alina Wagner, Madison Jones, Eleanor Flower is in, and Isla Petherbridge from that previous race, the 100-toe champion from Mairangi Bay, 2:42.73, and gets her through. But let's watch this clip up here. So good to see. This is what we love. And she doesn't even look down. She knows what she's doing it by touch there, and a strong finish on the wall as well to come through in a 2:35.01. She went 2:30 last week at the international comp, so excited that we could see Abigail back on the podium. But a lot of racing between now and then. I can't get too excited. I need to wait. I need to be patient. But coming up next, we have the men's, but I'm just taking a quick little look through the B final for the Super Lifesaver. We will have Indy Bland, Olivia Tukia, Tara Schotter, Eve Severnak, Emily Fitzgerald, Stephanie Staniforth. Wonderful to see Bulli in the B finals, Alyssa Tapper and Isabel Graf. That is the B final. So you can see up on screen right now, that is how the A final will look this afternoon. Bianca Raywood, lane 4, fastest qualifier. Abigail Skinder, though, chasing very quickly behind.
That's going to be a very exciting race to tune in for when our finals package kicks off around 1 o'clock this afternoon. I love watching the 50s, but there's something special about that 200. The lead can switch and change. We've got not only that flat water speed, but so many technical aspects that all of our competitors have to nail. We will expect very few mistakes this afternoon through those A and B finals.
Absolutely, and we can see for the men lining up already, and close to the Maroochydore Club champs in this one. Having a look at the lineup, we've got Melvin Gilbert from Cronulla, lane 3, top of your screen, and then it is nothing but Black Swans from there. Oscar Starr Thomas, Stan Jarrett, Byron Diekman and Darcy Higgins, 4 of the Maroochydore crew in the mix here. So as per Live Heats programming, if you're following along at home, that will be heat number 2. We've collapsed a few of the heats altogether, and there will be 10 heats in total. Looks to be pretty full, so some fantastic racing coming up. But for now, it is Melvin Gilbert from Cronulla v Maroochydore Surf Lifesaving Club.
Darcy Higgins getting the jump on his teammates there, out in 27.7. So a very fast first 50. He's followed closely by Stanley Jarrett and Oscar Starr Thomas. They're our top 3 as they dive down for that first mannequin pickup.
Yep, fantastic start across the board there. And you've got to think, for our Maroochydore crew, they race each other week in, week out. They see each other at the pool, they see each other at the beach. And they've also just finished together 3 days of ocean racing there, where they would have been, you know, racing each other, but also part of those really incredible teams. So having a look in lane 8, it looks to be Darcy Higgins still in the lead. Touches the wall, ditches the mannequin, and now it's all about these fin-ons. Who's done the work? Who's got the time? And in lane 4, I want to say Oscar Starr Thomas may be the first away.
Yeah, just getting the jump there. Not perfect fin-ons, but not bad either for this second heat of the Youth Men's 200 Super Lifesaver. You can see closest to screen there, Darcy Higgins breathing away from the field, but also stretching out his lead. He'll have a bit of a look around after he does this clip up, perhaps just to get a sense of where he is That wasn't a bad clip up there. So he is away. Darcy Higgins, Maroochydore Surf Lifesaving Club, leading out this heat.
And I love how much he's really leaning into his stroke here, really getting that stroke rate up, the fins going as well, knowing that they are in heat number 1 of maybe 10 races yet to swim. If you're in these early heats, if you're out by yourself, you have to go fast. We have seen the qualification times be decided in those last few times, so give yourself every opportunity. Do a Jimmy Kosh, get out there earlier. Fantastic time on the wall as well. I want to say that's 2:23.02. I want to say that's at least a B final. If we look at the times recorded at the national teams event for the youth men, A qualification was about the 2:22 mark, B qualification about the 2:28. Now, that is not a mandatory line that we are setting here. That is just a guide to help us understand, as these heats progress, where are they likely to finish. So fantastic racing. You can tell that he has given that one everything. Darcy Higgins, a fantastic race. We'll see the official results pop up on screen now. And there we see Higgins in 1, Oscar Starr Thomas in 2, Diekman in 3, Stan Jarrett, 2:44 for him, and Melvin Gilbert from Cronulla. Wonderful to have him here, and not too many Cronulla caps here at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre. You would have seen so many of them, though, at the beach.
Yeah, it is one of those clubs with such a rich history here in Australia. We always do see quite a few of those rising to the occasion. Absolutely plenty down in the Ocean Youth competition. As you mentioned, not as many coming across here to the pool, but great to see Melvin Gilbert just completing that heat. We take a look at the competitors adjusting their tubes and fins, getting ready for a start in heat number 3.
And if you thought the Maroochydore Club Championships was good, Christy, wait till you see the Retford and District Club Champs being decided in this next race. So from top of screen, we see Mikhail Slatch racing here for Sunshine Coast Grammar Pool Lifesaving Club. Raced for Kenya at the international competition last week. So wonderful to see these competitors backing up again. And I know he did some big PBs last week. So wonderful that he gets another opportunity to stand on the blocks, to do some swims and post some times. We have Elliot Gerard from Narval Sauvetage Sportif in 2, Kyton Pickering from Alex, the beachy turned pool lifesaver now, and then lanes 4 through 7 we have Seth Grayson, Ben Chilvers, Tom Bagley and Callum Merrills, all from Retford and District, all with those pale blue caps on. Keen to see who the club champion will be this year.
Nothing much separating our competitors from Redford and District Lifesaving. It looks like Kyton Pickering might have got the jump in this first 50. He will love that you've called him a beachy turn swimmer. I think it's possibly the other way round. But he will absolutely take that. And he has gone out in a very quick time. He's probably got 3 body lengths lead on the rest of the field. So that is Kyton Pickering on screen.
Should I call him a ski paddler turned beachy turned pool lifesaver? Is that more accurate?
Quite possibly, yes. He has a very famous dad, Glenn Pickering, who is the ski coach at Alex. So he's probably still finding his niche. Who knows? Maybe we will see him as a beach sprint specialist, but doing a fantastic job in the 200 Super Lifesaver. Still very clearly out in front.
Got the good kick on. He looks absolutely fantastic. And again, knowing that he's probably looking at this time going, look, I'm in an unseeded heat. I just need to get out. I need to get my fins on quick. I need to nail my turns. This could be my opportunity to make a B final. We can see he's just chasing that second fin at the moment as he has a little bit of a look over. He is still in the lead. However, the skills from the GB crew coming to the fore now. They are nearly away. But Kyton Pickering still out in the lead. And Christy, yesterday afternoon we had Tom Lowe from Mairangi Bay, an absolute superstar. He's the assistant pool coach and pool analyst for the Black Fins. He came through and he gave Kyton outfit of the day yesterday. Kyton wearing the hot pink sluggos there, the budgie smugglers. Wonderful to see a few different styles of swimwear on show as well.
Yes, it's nice to see the competitors having a little bit of fun with these pool rescue events. Kyton really taking advantage of his flat water speed. You can, as you mentioned there, so much focus on those ocean events, so he hasn't had the time in the pool to really work on these skills, and giving so much time away in the fin on and the clip up. He's away now, but he's having to settle for second. One of our competitors from Redford and District now
Yeah, I want to say that is going to be Tom Bagley just outside 4 and 5, which are the yellow lane ropes there. So Tom definitely looks to be in the best of the club championships positions at the moment. Fantastic skills, but we can see lane 5, that's Ben Chilvers coming through as well, really finishing hard. Great stroke on the wall, but it is Kyton Pickering who is going to take out this third heat for the men's 200 super, 2:51.48. For him, wonderful to get that time on the board again. Sub 3 minutes, always great. And that is Tom Bagley who comes through in 2:57. Seth Grayson 2:58. Elliot Gerard in 4. But unfortunately, Christy, we are seeing live heats update at the moment. A few DQs entering the conversation.
Yeah, 2 DQs from that heat of the men's 200 super lifesaver. We couldn't see from where we were sitting where those athletes went wrong. So they, as you mentioned, they will get a very specific DQ code that they can go back up and look to see where it was that they went wrong.
Yeah, it's always tough, but, you know, the officials do tell you why you were disqualified. You're not left guessing on that one. So valuable intel, but we see here this was Kyton Pickering just trying to get those fins on there, and he didn't even have the tube on at that point. So a little bit of work yet to do, but wonderful to see some of our athletes backing up from both the ocean, the pool, ocean and beach, and now here racing at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre. And they're here because they want points for their club. They're here because they want to add to that overall tally, and with a little bit of luck, we still could see Kyton Pickering in a B final swimming again this afternoon.
Yeah, they really do love it. They love that atmosphere under the tents here at the pool. They love that team camaraderie, any opportunity to race for your club. It's great to see, as we've mentioned all throughout the morning. It might not be your specialty event, but these competitors and athletes just love racing. So any chance to put on their club cap, you'll see them lining up and giving their absolute best.
And I did love this morning as you arrived on pool, we did a quick little walk, took the tour, and immediately when we looked up to the stands, we were like, oh, there's Alex. They've got the club tent up there. They've got a lot of support. So I'm sure Kyton will be embraced by the team as he heads back up. But for now, the next heat just up on screen now. The Super Lifesavers do not stop. So impressed with the pool setters, so impressed with our officials and our volunteers who are moving the mannequins around to really reduce the downtime between these two races.
Yeah, it's great for our athletes to not have too much of a nervous wait in that marshalling area, already being called to the starting blocks.
Oh, it's always a nervous wait. Even if it's short, even if it's long, it's always tough. So top of the screen, we can see Atlee Maselli. That is the bright orange cap of the Drayton Valley Lifesavers. Caden Grant from New Zealand representing Taylor's Mistake is in the mix. Angus Liddell from Mordialloc. Tristan Hubner-Hecker from Beatingham-Bissingen. Watch out for him. Great skills in that club. Jacob Middleton from Hina in the mix. Sirkin Ashok from Drayton Valley Lifesavers. And Barnaby Gilbert from Gilly. He will be in lane 8. So closest to the bottom of your screen. But how's this for a start from Tristan from Beatingham-Bissingen?
Yeah, we saw a fantastic performance by Tristan in those 50 mannequin carries, and so we would absolutely expect him to be flying here as he approaches that mannequin pickup. 27.8 he went through in that first 50. So just heading down for that mannequin pickup. This is where his strength will really come into play. We'll be yet to see just how strong he is with the fin on, but doing an amazing job. A little bit of fatigue. You can see a slightly slower stroke rate maybe to some of those chase competitors, but no problems at all for our leader.
And thinking of the chase, look at 1, 2, 3 and 5 across the pool. That is good. Atlee, Caden, Angus and Jacob all chasing Tristan in lane 4 at the moment. Tristan's got to get these fins on quickly because he can see how close they are. Coming in behind, just struggling with that second fin, but he is on and away. I want to say lane 2, lane 1. So that is Caden Grant. Fantastic racing from Caden all the way from Taylor's Mistake over in New Zealand.
Yes, almost all of our competitors now with their fins on, heading down that third 50 of 450s. A huge lead there now to Tristan. Just really stretching out his stroke. He'll touch the wall for the final time.
And this is the skills that we love to watch. Bietigheim Bisseken, and again, doesn't even need to look under the water. He knows what he's doing, and we always teach that to our athletes as they come through. If you can get your hands immediately to the medal clip and the medal ring, all you need to do is one big pull and bring your hands together. That's a clip up right there. So don't bother with holding the ribbons or the rope. Just get your hands to those metal clips and have a look at this stroke rate. That is absolutely gorgeous. I wish I looked that smooth at the end of a Super Lifesaver. That's fantastic work to Tristan Hübner-Hecker from Bietigheim Bisseken. This is going to be a great time, potentially one of the best that we've seen so far.
I'm sure you looked every bit as good as that, Jenny. Actually, I would love to have some old footage of you lightning fast times when you were racing this particular event. So it's a 2:33 there for Tristan, 2:42 for Caden Grant from Taylor's Mistake, and 2:44 for Jacob Middleton, hitting the wall there in third.
So just looking at the overall times now, that will put them in third, fifth and seventh overall respectively. So Tristan third with that 2:33, Caden in fifth with a 2:42, and Jacob Middleton from Hina 2:44. So all of those boys currently in the top 8, and we see the official results pop through. Always makes me happy when there's been no DQs throughout the race. It's the worst feeling, especially when you've come to the World Lifesaving Championships to get a DQ.
It's a long way to come. Not a nice outcome for our athletes. Also not a nice job for our officials to have to deliver that news to an athlete. It's a very, very tough thing to do, particularly in a final, getting that far and not getting to post a time on the wall. Having a look now at our start list. Heat number 5.
Yep, lining up already, and we have got Valentino Milder from Lukenwald, Florian Lockman from Nieder-Ohm-Warstadt, Caleb Wilford from Drayton Valley in Canada, countryman Joseph Skinder is in lane 5, Mika Bartel from Norderstedt, Simon Hosch from Nieder-Ohm-Warstadt, Indigo Evans from Met-Caloundra. I think that Indigo is our only Australian in this race. Again, Gabriel Deschênes from Naval Sauvetage in lane 8. So a full house. Love to see that. And as we get through heat number 5, this is heat 5 of 10. So the pace is going to pick up from here.
You can see there Gabrielle on screen in that silver cap that you've spoken about.
Do enjoy the fashions, the merch, and you've got to think they're already teeing up those swaps that they can do tomorrow afternoon. But loving to see those different national flags represented on screen as we get ready for heat number 5. Heat number 5 of 10 for the men's Super Lifesaver. And once we get through these races from here, we've only got the 4x50 medley relay to close out the heats this morning. We're anticipating maybe 3 heats for both the men and the women there. So loving that we're moving this through, and have a look at Indigo Evans. Fast start.
Indigo Evans already a body length ahead. You can see second lane from the bottom of the screen there from the Met-Caloundra Surf Club. Indigo Evans is going to hit the wall in first, 29.12. So very, very solid first 50. It's a fine art as to how much energy and expenditure you burn in that first 50. You know you've still got 3 50s to go, the most taxing of those yet to come.
Yeah, it's always such a tough decision, and I think as well tomorrow when we get to those rescue medleys, that's always a really tough one to pace as well. But for now, Indigo Evans from Metropolitan Caloundra, who picked up quite a few medals yesterday. It was wonderful to see them in the mix. Again, really nervous about his mannequin being so close to the lane rope, but he's got an incredible kick happening. He's looking very, very good. But he is looking over to the top of the screen because I think that is Florian Lockman. Florian's going to come to just behind at this touch here, but great push off the wall there. Sorry, lane 4. Joseph Skinder, love that big push, and wow, gets his fins on quickly.
Indigo Evans having a huge amount of difficulty just with those fin-ons. He missed the first grab of those fins. Fatigue really setting in there. So that has opened up the race massively for the competitors in those top lanes.
Oh, that is tough to watch, but do love the performance in lane 4, the top of those yellow lanes in there, and have a look at that gorgeous stroke, very long, and you can see they just often do like a few little short strokes just to make sure that they touch the wall on their preferred arm. My gosh, look at those skills. Joseph Skinder from Canada, the Pacific Swim Academy. He does not need to do anything else correct at the moment. We know he's a great swimmer, but he has left nothing out there for the fin-on, for the clip-on. I think we can, when we make our world's training video, when we showcase the best of the skills from the Opens, from the Youth, from the National to the Interclub, Joseph Skinder is going to get a special shout-out.
Yeah, really just pulling away with that lead there. Joseph Skinder, he timed that race perfectly, just kept himself in contention over that first 100 and really made his move with that tube and fin on, and so dominant over that second 100. So Joseph Skinder in a time of 1:55 ahead of Florin Lockman, 1:58.
I think, Joseph, it's just updated now on live heats, 2:34. Otherwise, Francisco Ippolito would have been going, wait a minute.
Right, sorry.
Wait a minute.
That is what I meant, Jen. Thank you. Correction there, not quite going through in world record pace.
It's amazing that we're not technical officials or judges.
We'll leave that job to somebody else.
No, but fantastic race, and you can see the boys turning around, giving the gear to the next race, and it was always so awkward because you'd see, you know, the race ahead of you, the athletes would finish, they'd be absolutely exhausted, they'd be hanging onto the lane rope, and you'd just have to be like, hello, I need the tube, I need to get set up for my next race, because you want to give yourself as much time as possible, but so good to see that we get this vision right now in lane 4, far right of your screen. No mucking around, and he's even got time there to position the tube where he likes it as well, just bringing it up onto the shoulder, and that allows him to do a clip up like that at the other end of the field, and there is no one else in shot now for Joseph Skinder as he comes through. Great touch on the wall. He's got to be happy with that race. He's like, whew, I'm glad it's done. And for him, if he's in an A or a B final, you've got to think that the attitude is, I'm looking forward to the next one.
There are our official results. So 2:34.74 it was for Joseph Skinder, 2:40 for Florin Lockman, 2:41 for Micah Barthel. They're our top 3 from heat number 5.
Heat 6, I can hear the whistle already. I think they're about to be up on the blocks in the starters' hands. So this is heat 6. We only have 10 in total. So looking at this, at the top of your screen, we have Riley Waite from Shelley Beach, Ethan Parsons from Drayton Valley Lifesavers in the orange cap. 2 over from him, we have Lasse Lederer from Bietigheim-Bissingen. Lukenwald's Devon Gordon-Michael is in lane 6. And then from Haasewinkel, we have Ben Brinkman and Anton Holstein from Norderstedt rounding out the field. While there are a few free lanes here and there, Chrissy, I'm loving seeing so many of our athletes back on action. The fact that they're still going, the fact that they're still doing Super Lifesavers, really impressive. And have a look at the turns. Devon from Germany turned in 29.77, and that's feet on the wall, 29.77. That's fast.
Incredibly fast. You can see our leaders there, middle of the pool, diving down. Beautiful underwater shots, very, very clean pickups from our leaders. You can just see the strength coming through there.
Yep, fantastic start. Fantastic carrying as well in lane 6. Devon doing an incredible job, and Chrissy, something that you wouldn't have seen in our day, but just how deep some of the mannequins are when they carry now, because you don't have to have the face, the mouth or the nose out of the water anymore. As long as you've got a firm grip on the mannequin, it can really be as deep as you want now. It looks a little unwieldy sometimes, but whatever works best for you, that's what you should do. I've even seen some of the competitors hold the mannequin by the chin underwater. They can hook a hand around the arm, or, as we saw earlier today, that really strong headlock, keeping it close to the body and really streamlined.
Yeah, a much more comfortable position for our swimmers to have to toe in. It's so taxing on the front end of your shoulder to have to lift that mannequin's face out of the water. So a real advantage, and we'll see a lot faster times with that change. Oh, a little bit of a dip of the top of that mannequin, but a great readjustment there for Devon Gordon, still with a lead in lane 6. 150 metre to go.
Yeah, Devon, a fantastic clip on there. And again, I love that, you and I got nervous for a moment. The heart rate spiked when we saw the mannequin go through because they are half full of water. As soon as they start to tip, it's just like the seesaw going around. But he didn't panic. He knew what he was doing. And a shout out as well to Lasse Lederer next door there from Bietigheim-Bissingen, really closing hard here. Fantastic swim. And we can see the times continuing to drop here. So Devon a 2:26 high, Lasse 2:27 high, Ethan Parsons from Drayton Valley Lifesavers a 2:34. So this is where it gets interesting. This is where we start to check that leaderboard. And Devon Gordon-Michael from Lukenwald is now second overall, that 2:26, second overall, and Lasse Lederer will be third in it with that 2:27.
Impressive times. It looked fast, and it was 2:26 for our leader, Devon Gordon.
And he set it up so perfectly from this first 50. We can see those two boys together in 5 and 6, pushing it from the start. And for both of them, because their skills were so strong, there really wasn't a lot to split them across the race. And we can see their big kick off the wall. You want to get that really big pushback so that as soon as you've got your fins on, you're not thinking, oh, I'm at a dead stop and I need to start. If you can already be at the 5, 6, 7 metre mark at that point, you've already got a little bit of a jump on the rest of the field.
Yeah, that's really good insight there, Jen. Just all of those small little percentage gains. There are so many to be had in this race. You can see really great friends, not from the same club, but they are from the same country, so they would have raced each other a lot in their own competitions over there in Germany. That's our official results from heat number 6.
And I think something, Christy, that has really impressed me, and I'm loving that at your very first day at the pool here, you get to see how great the sportsmanship is amongst these youth competitors, regardless of what country you're from, regardless of what club, what club cap you have on your head. It's been a really great vibe here on the pool, and while we can get frustrated about delays in programming or everyone's getting a little bit tired, maybe a little bit frustrated, the way that we all lift for finals, I think the quality of the performances, the rewards that our athletes are seeing from such an impressive amount of training that goes into being at the Lifesaving World Championships, it's wonderful to see. And race on race, we're seeing that great attitude.
Yeah, the difficulty of these pool events, I think, grows a great amount of respect between our youth athletes. They all know the work they've put in. Heat number 7 now just hitting the water.
Yep, and at the top of the screen, a great start there from Kobe Clark from Met Caloundra, Vincent Lalancet from Narval Sauvetage, Jaden Diodor from Lukenwald, Louis Herter from Nita Olmorstadt, Liam Schweitzer from Woodridge in South Africa, Timmy Wang from Norderstedt, and Emily Fortin from Canada. Closest to the bottom of your screen here, and it looks to be a race in 1 and 2 at the moment. That's Kobe Clark and Vincent Lalancet.
Top of the screen, Kobe Clark hit the wall first. He has just slipped back into second, but that was a 28 low. So that was 28 low for Kobe Clark. Both of those athletes heading down, picking up the mannequin. You can see their clean, fast pickups.
Yeah, and we can see closer to us, closer towards the bottom of your screen, I should say, Liam Schweitzer, a fantastic pick up there. Lots of big butterfly kicks to head down, grab the mannequin, and Woodridge has got that nice yellow cap. That means that we can see them quite easily there coming through, and I think he's nearly going to be the first to get his hand to the wall at the halfway mark.
Yeah, a little bit of change in the lead there. It was possibly lane 3. Very, very narrow.
Who's going to turn around first? Lane 1, lane 3, lane 2. And over in lane 7, Timmy Vang as well. Fantastic race for him. And this is where you see who's really confident in their leg strength and their leg speed. Who's going to start to do these little underwater skims there as well. And for lane number 3, Jaden Dion there. Fantastic work. We've got that block at the top of the field really pushing each other to ahead.
Yeah, our leader just breathing to the opposite side there. He's not aware that he's just going to get pipped on the wall there. He'll hit the wall in second. Watch for these pickups. Very, very fast, very clean pickups. So our 2 leaders just looking back to make sure. Sometimes it's a bit of a shock with the weight that you do, and you think, is that actually not sort of headed sideways, it's then a bit disappointing to see, no, actually that's just the weight of the mannequin that I need to tow back. So a race still in 3. Kobe Clark out there from Metropolitan Caloundra, slipping back ever so slightly.
But how good is Vincent in lane 2, really working those fins? And I love that these boys, I don't want to say that they're working together, but they're really pushing each other forward. It's very immediate that they're seeing each other there. So Vincent Lalancet comes through 2:33.31, Kobe Clark 2:34.7, and wowee, only 6/100ths of a second behind him is Jaden Dion Dor from Germany, 2:34.88 there. So fantastic racing across the pool, and some terrible news, Chrissy. Unfortunately, I think Kobe may have been disqualified, so a little bit of drama for the competitor there from Metropolitan Caloundra. And really tough news to hear as well when you've just finished a Super Lifesaver, when you've just worked so hard to get that news there. But we can see the yellow cap there. That was Liam Schweitzer. And I love the moment where you can see the boys, they've got the fins on and the big arm goes up. It's a signal flare for us to say someone is away, here we go. But this was the 150-metre mark, and have a look at the skills there. Fantastic work.
Yeah, very disappointing. As you said, Kobe Clark finished just in 3rd in that heat, 2nd or 3rd, but coming up with a DQ, so he will not progress through to our A and B finals this afternoon. But he will go home with some more knowledge on the technicalities of the 200 Super Lifesaver. Heat 7 results on screen. Heat 8 just setting themselves up on the block. We'll have a look through the start list.
Yeah, and Metropolitan Caloundra back in action again at the top of your screen. Luca Widmer in lane number 1. Patrick Wetzel from Gütersloh, Heath Corrie from Mordialloc, Kai Gilbert back in action again for Northcliffe. His teammate Matthew Lowe is in lane 6. Nicholas Hiob from Bietigheim-Bissingen and Lewis Morgan from Sker and Pink Bay Surf Lifesaving Club in Great Britain in the mix. So had a quick little chat to Kai Gilbert yesterday. He's in lane 4 now. He had a fantastic finish in that 100 tow, and he just came out of the pool, you know, like that wobbly leg walk that we've all seen, we've all done before. My heart went out to him. He raced so hard. He was so close to a gold medal and a world championship. But Kai, absolute superstar, back in action now. He is in lane 4, which is the top of the 2 yellow lane ropes there.
Yeah, you do hit that top lactic burn in the second 100 with those large fiberglass fins. We spoke about a similar feeling with the rescue tube rescues at the beach competition. It's a similar type of a pain, and certainly one that you'll need to do a good swim down in between these qualifying rounds to this afternoon. So it's the middle lanes out in front.
Yep, Kai Gilbert, as expected, a really strong start for him, and teammate Matthew Lowe in the mix there as well. The 2 Northcliffe teammates there, they are wearing the maroon caps on their head. So a blank lane in between them, but they would be very aware of where each other is. And Kai very, very strong on this carry, so we'll see him put in some really great stroke rates. He'll get that kick going as well. Now, these boys yesterday raced the 4x50 OBS relay. They were so close to nudging a world record, Christy. I didn't realise they were so close, but they knew where they were. They knew that they were targeting that one as well. It was a fantastic performance, but Kai Gilbert, a nice little half body length lead on the rest of the field, touches the wall, ditches the mannequin. Oh, and wowee, have a look at that fin on. He has set this race up absolutely beautifully, knowing how good he is in that 100 tow. This is the perfect race for him right now, out by himself.
Kai Gilbert, he absolutely got the best of those fin-ons. Matthew Lowe, who was in second place, struggled with that, and I think he's now been caught by Luca Widmer. We can see on the top lane, top of our screen from Met Caloundra, he's just nudged his way into second place.
And second place by a little way. I think it's not just a body length for him, but the tube is clear as well. The boys need to get these clip-ups done. And you can see there Kai Gilbert is away. Top of screen, we have Luca Widmer away as well. So this is a strong race. This is a confident race from Kai Gilbert. The relief that he would be feeling now, knowing that he's through all of the technical elements. The mannequin is secured. He just needs to get home, but there is a race on behind him. Luke and Widmer is out of shot at the moment, but then we've got Matthew Lowe and Heath Corrie as well from Mordialloc.
Yeah, there's our winner, Kai Gilbert. He'll touch in first. It will be Luca Widmer from Met Caloundra taking out second in this heat. A bit of a battle there, but Matthew Lowe will fight back to claim third. That's our 1, 2, 3 for heat number 8.
Fantastic racing in the first sub 220 swim that we've seen here as well. So Kai Gilbert definitely in that A final with a 2:18.27. And we see the quick replay there, loving the colour in the different caps here, and fantastic start. You wouldn't know that this is a 200-metre race based on the pace that we saw very early on. Kai Gilbert really making his intentions clear from the start, coming through, great pickup. Gosh, he's done that 1,000 times over the last few weeks. And this was great here. We see him just take a moment, one on, second on, bring that tube up and away.
It's a nice feeling. You saw him have a glance over at his teammate there who was still struggling with those fin-ons. It's nice to have a look across and know that you're clear and free while the others are still working through that stage of the race. Very impressive. 2:18 swim to Kai Gilbert.
He goes, yeah, it was all right.
A little bit of room for improvement. That's also maybe bit of warning to his fellow competitors for what we might see come the final. He's got more to give.
Do love that 2:18 flat, and also a bit of a redemption swim here for Kai Gilbert. He was in the A final for the national teams competition, racing for Australia. He qualified for the A final, did a great swim. Unfortunately, disqualified in that national teams comp. So he and one of the French competitors both out in that A final. So they still get points for their team. They just get the minimum points available for that final. But Kai did such a great job to make the final for that national teams comp. Unfortunately DQ'd, but you've got to think he wants this one badly.
Yes, a little bit more fire in the belly. You don't want to end your Worlds campaign with that type of a memory. So great that he can line up again here in the Interclub competition. We would more than expect him to be in that A final. Heat number 9 now hitting the water.
Yep, great to see Jacko Brennan at the top of the screen racing for the Currumbin Vikings. James Lee, more Met Caloundra in the race here. Henry Simpson from Alex, Kobe Holden from Currumbin, Jacob Falconer back in the pool here for Ocean Beach. And just grabbing those last ones there, Liam Smith from Langenberg and Mika Liam Hornyak from Raider Vadenbrook. So full heat, nearly, but a fantastic start again. Have a look at that. I think that's about a 28 low for our first competitors turning.
Yeah, very, very fast heat, as we would expect. Heat number 9. That's Henry Simpson on screen at the moment with that yellow cap, just about to approach his mannequin pickup. It's the other side of the pool where the pace is coming from at the moment.
Yep, so lane 4, that is still Henry Simpson in the lead. Either side of him, we can see James Lee, top of the screen in that pale blue cap from Met Caloundra. But coming up very quickly is Kobe Holden. He is in the lane 5 from the Currumbin Vikings. Kobe, one of the best carriers without fins, so great to see him in the mix now. He's got the fins on. Henry Simpson, great skills there, and Kobe Holden, a little bit of underwater work to start.
Henry still holding on to his lead. Kobe Holden narrowly in second place. James Lee from Met Caloundra holding down third in this third 50. You can see Henry opting to do a little bit of that underwater swimming. Coming into the wall now. We'll watch these clip-ons very closely.
You can see Henry Simpson here. Oh, Henry Simpson is... Now, I've got to tell you, Christy, I was thinking Henry Simpson, ocean competitor, might struggle a little bit on these technical elements. Love being proved wrong by these incredible athletes who are saying, wrong, Jenny Parry. Watch me get my fins on. Watch me do the clip up. And he is powering away here. You've got to think that this should get him into an A final.
Yeah, that was an impressive display there. Henry Simpson ahead of Kobe Holden. You're right, this is not probably where Henry would feel the most comfortable in these pool life-saving events, but as are so many athletes, he's a real perfectionist. He hones his skills. He doesn't leave anything to chance. So great swim there from Henry Simpson, touching the wall ahead of Kobe Holden, and I think it was still James Lee from Met Caloundra.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, Christy. I was so excited because I wanted to tell you Henry Simpson is now the fastest qualifier from this morning's heats. His time of 2:17.91 ahead of Kai Gilbert from Northcliffe, who we saw in the previous race, 2:18 flat. So only 9/100ths of a second in it. But Henry Simpson, what a swim.
He's an impressive athlete, an impressive young man, should I say. He's just finished year 12. I think he finished year near the top of his grade, so very, very smart academically. He likes to obviously excel in all aspects of his life, and wow, what an impressive 200 Super Lifesaver. I wouldn't expect Henry has done a heap of these before, so I dare say he may still have some improvement in him.
Do love that. And the official results popping up now: 2:17 for Henry Simpson, James Lee 2:23.0, Kobe Holden 2:23.4, and we can see Jacob Falconer in the mix as well. So in terms of that overall leaderboard, so just to give you an idea of who's on the cusp of those A and B finals, so James Lee, that 2:23.0, that places him 5th overall at the moment. Kobe Holden is 6th. So if you want to be in the A final, you've got to be faster than 2:23, and it's quite the heat lining up now. This is the 10th and final heat, the last individual race that we will have for these heats package before we go to finals this afternoon. And in lane 1, top of screen for heat number 10, we have Paul Reischauer from Niederolm Warstart. We have Rowan Toon from Northcliffe, William Love from Currumbin, also teammate Riley Brennan in lane 4. Braden Woodford, very, very strong in the back end of this one, from Bulli in lane 5. Devon Carth from Lukenwald, and Cooper Lynch from Northcliffe in lane number 7.
Some big names in this heat. Would expect some pace to come from those middle lanes. Riley Brennan, Braden Woodford. They hit the water now.
And we saw a really fantastic performance in the international teams competition. So Riley Brennan, who is in lane 4 in the white cap in this race, he really gave that world record a nudge in the heats of the national teams comp. The world record for this event held by Davide Cremonini from Italy, who we did see race for the national teams comp. His record is 2:07.07. Riley went 2:07.53. He was well out in front in those heats. Had to settle for a silver medal overall in the finals, just fading towards the end. And we also had the incredible David Ferrari coming through, who took the international swim. But the boys will be full of confidence. They know that it's really only a 2:23 or so that it'll take to make the A final. But Riley Brennan determined to leave nothing to chance here, knowing that there's so many technical elements left in the race.
Very dominant display from Riley Brennan. Currumbin Beach Vikings. He'll hit the wall now for his tube and fin. That's Braden Woodford from the Bulli Surf Club in second. Cooper Lynch, closest to screen from Northcliffe. Just getting pipped there by his probably fellow Northcliffe competitor. That might be Rowan Toon.
And if you are hearing us talk that there are quite a few of the Currumbin Beach Vikings, quite a few of BMT Northcliffe, it is a little bit different, the team compositions between the international and the interclub competition. Just want to watch Riley Brennan come through and do this 100 toe. So he's got to come through nice and clean, takes his time, nails that one. The boys just coming through now. Braden Woodford's done many a clip up in his time. He should be good. Yes, he is away. But for those for the international competition, it's 6 men and 6 women per team, and you can have 2 competitors in those individual events. For the interclub competition, it is 10 men and 10 women, and you can have up to 4 competitors in these individual events. So don't be surprised. Don't think we're stacking the fields here. They are allowed to have 4 men in the Super Lifesaver, and a fantastic race there. Riley Brennan way out by himself, 2:09.28, and that is by far the fastest swim that we've seen this morning.
Wow, Braden Woodford hitting the wall just ahead of William Love from Currumbin. Very fast heat. We will have to wait to see who that knocks out of our A final as we see those final competitors coming in.
So fantastic racing, and the beauty of using the live heat system here is we see the team come through, and Riley Brennan so good from the start. Loving to see that. Really impressed that Cooper Lynch really took it to them early as well. We get to see the replay of the great skills as well. Tube immediately over, fin on, tube up and away. Wonderful to see, and this clip up was really nice and smooth as well. Fantastic. Rewarded with a time of 2:09.28, and that is a solid 8.5 seconds clear of the rest of the field. Henry Simpson into Kai Gilbert, Braden Woodford, William Love, Luca Widmer, Darcy Higgins and James Lee. That is how we see it. And Darcy Higgins, shout out to him. He was in the second heat, I think, of this event, setting a very early 2:23.02. He made it by half a second. He's in an A final.
That's all it takes. Doesn't matter if it's by the smallest of margins. So that's our final list up on screen. You can see Riley Brennan there, fastest qualifier in lane number 4 ahead of Henry Simpson, and going back to Kai Gilbert. So
full Aussie final.
That's going to be a fast one, and a 2:09. Jen, how close are they narrowing into a world record?
Oh, that is, it's 2 and a bit seconds off a world record, and I think while that is an incredible mark to chase, I think of how many races Riley Brennan has done for Australia, for Currumbin, and actually I'm really keen on your perspective here for this, because for the Interclub Championships and for the Internationals, our youth competitors had to do beach first and then the pool events, and I think that is really taxing. You come into the pool a little bit sunburnt, a little bit tired, your calves are burning because you've been walking up and down the soft sand of Kurrawa Beach for 3 days. It's really tough to not only perform and perform well, but to chase world records at the end of 2 weeks of racing. It's a big ask.
Yeah, huge ask, Jen. We have spoken about just how taxing these events are on your legs, and you're exactly right. We've had an amazing venue down there at Kurrawa Beach, but it's been a very long beach, lots of low tides in those afternoon finals, so the athletes are coming in a little bit taxed, a little bit spent. So yeah, huge ask. Still very impressive times being laid down there in the men's 200 Super Lifesaver heats, which have now come to an end.
Sorry, I've popped my head out. I've had a look at the marshalling area. I've turned my microphone back on. We have only got the heats of the 4x50 medley relay. You can see that the live stream for the Ocean is still running at the moment. You and I might switch over to that, have a little look, grab a drink of water, and we will be back for the final heats of the day, 4x50. There you go. The word has come through. 10-minute break. 10-minute break. Christy and I are going to jump offline for a moment. We will see you for the heats of the 4x50 medley relay in just a moment. And welcome back. We are ready. The first heat for the women in the 4x50 medley relay. Just getting ready, taking a moment. We can see South Africa, Clifton Beach is on the top of the screen. The girls getting ready. So having a look at liveheats.com. Make sure you've got that up and you can grab all of the draws, the results, the splits. So top of the screen in the yellow caps, we will have Clifton Beach, Burleigh Heads and Mowbray Park in 2, Bietigheim-Bissingen in 3. Also from Germany in lane 4, we have Luckenwald, Sunshine Beach in 5, Retford and District from GB in 6, and from Canada, Narwhal Sauvetage Sportif in lane 7. Looking forward to a start, and as we said, we've done the 50 carry, we've done the 4x25, we've done the Super Lifesavers as well. Wonderful to see so many of our athletes backing up now for the 4x50 medley relay. If you haven't been to too many Pool Lifesaving carnies, if you haven't been joining us on the live stream earlier, 4x50 medley relay starts with these ladies on the screen right now. It is just a 50-metre sprint, no fins, no tube, anything like that, just a 50 sprint. And at the top of the screen, Clifton Beach showing us how it's done here. At the changeover, you'll see the competitors on the blocks wearing their fins. This is just a 50 sprint with fins now. We will see that most of our athletes will stay underwater for most of the way because that is the fastest way from A to B. They'll come through, they will touch the wall at the halfway mark. They'll have another competitor up on the blocks wearing just the tube. From there, they'll jump in. They swim 50 metres with the tube. And Christy, this always feels like the short straw in the medley relay. They actually have to do 100 metres worth of work.
Without fins, yes. That 50 metres with your tube. Very, very fast, flat racing. I was always the last competitor to join the relay here. But yeah, you're right. Short straw if you're the third swimmer. You will have to do a bit of a changeover here. You'll see them here change over with that tube, grabbing onto it, and you now become the patient for that final 50 metres.
Yep, that person now gets pulled home. Now, you cannot assist with your arms. You can't take any strokes, but you can kick your little heart out from there. And really interesting to see the choices made over the past few days of competition when we've watched the other medley relays. A lot more competitors actually choosing to be on their back, kicking there. And the advantage of doing that is when you take your head up to breathe, naturally your hips start to drop, and that creates extra drag in the water. But in lane 4, water performance, fantastic start here. This is what we want to see in heat number 1. It is the team from Luckenwald. Fantastic racing. 150, actually I think 149. They've just snuck under there. 149.90. Fantastic work. Strong start, and you've got to think close to an A final time.
Yes, it's a little bit easier. Well, I shouldn't really say easier, but less competitors to get past for an A final berth here in these medley relays. You can see those official results coming through on screen now. So that was heat number 1.
And we only have 3 heats in total, so only a few races left to go before we take a little break over lunch. And just looking at liveheats.com, unfortunately, a few disqualifications, Chrissy. That's always tough. Clifton and Retford and District both gone.
Yes, we called Clifton throughout that race. They had a fantastic start. They will be faced with a DQ, so only 5 teams from that first heat actually clocking a time. There they are there on screen.
So Luckenwald, no dramas for them. They're through a 149.9. Burleigh Heads are through 159.
You can see, I think it's the Sunshine Beach team there in third, 2:02.
Yep, great work for them. And already the next heats are up on the blocks. I think everyone knows that lunch is coming. Everyone knows that we're nearly done. Heat 2 on the blocks.
Heat number 2, you can see there, top of the screen is the yellow caps, the team from Alexandra Headland. Alongside them, you can see the team there from Germany. We've got Maroochydore, 2 other clubs from Germany, and Canadian club rounding out our field. So 7 hit the water. Closest to screen, it's the Canadians who have got off to one of the best starts alongside, I want to say that might be the team from Maroochydore, middle of the field.
Yep, Maroochydore in lane 4 looking very good. Also, Alexandra Headland's top of the screen. Love that we can pick them with those bright yellow caps. But you're right, that was Canada closest to us on the bottom of the screen, Club d'Entraînement en Sauvetage Sportif. But a great start, and loving that we can see the splits here. 29.17 Maroochydore leading the way.
It's Maroochydore ahead of Alexandra Headland, and it is that team from Canada still holding on to third place. It's a beautiful shot there of the underwater. Underwater not compulsory, but it is the fastest way to make your way down that second 50.
And I think that was Pippi Barlow, our beachy turned pool life-saving specialist, already a world champion from that great swim that we saw yesterday in the 4x50. But this is going to be a fantastic race, and this is where we see those tactics, those strategies, the decisions are so important here. Who do you put in this third leg? Who has got not only the speed for this lap right now, but who's got the endurance to come home as a patient? And Christy, this used to be you waiting on the wall now. This is the toughest of all the changeovers.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into this. If you're the fourth swimmer, you've got to get that rescue tube sash over your shoulder. And if you are the patient, you've got only one chance to grab onto that tube. Sometimes you will see the rescuer swim off so fast that the patient does miss that, and that is your race over. But Maroochydore, clear leaders of the second heat.
Maybe not clear leaders. Have a look at the speed for Nina Orm-Warstadt coming through in the blue caps. Very, very close. This is going to be fantastic in the final. Very close on the wall there. Maroochydore got there in 1:56.8, but wowee, Nina Orm-Warstadt, what a finish. Absolutely powering home with the Finns there. 1:57.08 for them in lane 3. Nordestedt, the pink caps, 2:00.76. And I want to say fourth was those early leaders from Canada, Club d'Entraînement en Sauvetage Sportif. So Nina Orm-Warstadt, very excited for them. Lane 5, watch out for them in a big final this afternoon.
Came home very strong indeed. So Maroochydore had the jump in those first 350s, but it was the team from Germany that powered home. We're just having a look at the replay on screen of that race. The all-important changeovers. We'll wait to see. We believe that everyone is through officially.
I'm just
from that heat number 2.
I'm just refreshing.
Don't believe there are any DQs.
But just to put into perspective how incredible that team from Luckenwald was in the previous heat, their time of 1:49.9 compared to Maroochydor's 1:56 now. What a performance. Luckenwald, they are definitely here to take some points, take some scalps, and hopefully some gold medals in those big finals. But little high five on the line there. The girls from Maroochydore just pleased to be through, be done, ready to go, and it doesn't look like... So far, so good on the DQs. The results go up on screen now. 1:56.8, and that means that there is only one heat yet to swim for the girls in the 4x50 medley relay. 3 heats for the men as well. And then we will take a little break. And I can hear the whistle outside already. And we can see it's going to be Weimaraner top of screen leading us out. The officials turning this around, so it's Weimaraner, Tweed Heads and Coolangatta, Northcliffe, Currumbin, Sunshine Coast Grammar, Pool Lifesaving, and Mordialloc will be closest to us, bottom of the screen in the bright blue cap.
Yeah, Mordialloc off to a fantastic start. Fairly even across the pool there. Lane number 1, Weimaraner also very, very strong, but in the late stages of this first 50, it looks like Sunshine Coast Grammar, Pool Lifesaving.
Yep, fantastic
just behind Mordialloc.
Yep, fantastic to see. And we can see the crew. This is the Mermaid League. I love that we have the cameras here to see the girls absolutely fly past. And also at the Australian Pool Lifesaving Championships, this is actually an event, the 50 with fins, as fast as you can, underwater, on top of the water, whatever you need to do. But have a look at Weimaraner really making their way through the field now. They are clearly in second place.
Yeah, it's the two ends of the pool, Weimaraner and Mordialloc. Mordialloc probably looking the strongest, but from this angle, hard to tell. Nothing really splitting our first 2 teams in this final heat of the rescue medley relay.
And we can see Northcliffe, the maroon cap there, just pushing into third position. Of course, this is the changeover that counts and the really nervous time for the patient. A lot of pressure for them, and you can see Waimarana top of screen. Great changeover and immediately over onto her back, but it is Mordialek. I think she is on her back as well as they make their way home. Lots of pressure, the girls knowing that this is the last opportunity to get some good times on the board, and also the last time that the girls are in the water here for today's heats.
Very impressive from Mordialek, but they might just have to settle for second place. Very, very close on the touch there. Waimarana, I think, just getting the touch on the wall all the way up there in lane number 1.
Yep, fantastic start there. I think the girls will be really happy with that performance. Just need to make sure everyone gets through cleanly. And if they have, I think Waimarana will actually be the second fastest qualifiers from this morning's heats. But what a start there. Sunshine Coast Grammar, wonderful to see.
Yeah, they really took it to the field in that very first leg.
And this was the great change over there, the underwater through to that third tough leg. Waimarana top of screen, fantastic work for them. And they come through, big stroke on the wall there. They're done, they're finished, they are off to lunch now. And it looks to be, I think all of the heats are complete now. Everyone has been allowed to exit the pool. That's always a great sign. So if we look at the leaderboard overall for that A final this afternoon, it looks to be Lukenwald clearly the fastest qualifiers. They will be in lane 4 for the final that is now up on screen. That's the A final. Waimarana, Mordialek, Northcliffe, Maroochydore, Nita on Warstadt, Currumbin and Burleigh Heads Mowbray Park, all the teams who were under 2 minutes, all in the final. And then the B will be led out by Norderstedt 20076, the fastest qualifiers for the B final. Christy, get excited. 3 races left.
3 more heats, same number of heats lining up for the men's medley relay. We're bringing a start list to you now up on screen. Got Alexandra Headlands, Germany, 2 clubs from Germany. We've got another club there from Australia, Met Caloundra, a German club, followed by a Canadian. So we've got 6 teams lining up here in heat number 1.
Alrighty, I've done my sums. There's 17 competitors or 17 teams in these heats. So we are only going to be dropping one team from the heats through to the finals. However, we have seen some DQs in the ladies. This is where the boys need to be really, really careful, maintaining that speed under pressure as they come into those technical elements. And we've all been a little jumpy on the blocks before. It can be quite tough, but I think it's really that 3 to 4 changeover that generally seems to be the tipping point.
Yeah, it's not as technical as some of our other relays or as our 4x25 mannequin relay, but certainly still plenty of opportunities to get a DQ. So that will be at the front of mind for our competitors vying for a spot in an A or B final later on.
Sorry, I got excited. I saw Met Caloundra out in front. Have a look at the start. I'm really keen to see what this split will be in lane 5, the pale blue caps. They've been so great individually. I love seeing Met Caloundra combine for a really great heat swim here, and that is a 24.49 on the wall, Christy. Fantastic work.
That looked fast, and it was. So giving their teammates a very handy lead. You can see just how hard they're working underwater. They are flying in that second leg changeover now. Met Caloundra still with a lead over the German team, who are closing strongly on this third 50.
Yeah, great work here from Lukenwald. Definitely knew who they wanted to have in that third leg, and they said, mate, you've got one job. We need you to go fast. We need you to chase down Met Caloundra. And he says, no worries, I've got this one.
Met Caloundra, though, is holding him off, so it's going to come down to who gets the best of this changeover.
And I love seeing those men so quickly off the wall, because and Chrissy, you'd have a better inside view on this one. Sometimes you have to go a little deeper off the wall just to give your patient a little bit extra room and space to grab the tube.
Yeah, certainly. You've got a lot of things to contend with on that third to fourth changeover. So Met Caloundra just having to settle for second, but this will be a fast time, I imagine.
Yep, that is a fantastic statement to make here in the heats for the 4x50 medley relay. Lukenwald, great in the women, great in the men. Gosh, I would love to see both of their teams on the podium at the end of those finals. The job is not done yet, though. We need to get through these heats. Wonderful to see those results come through. We hear the whistle, so we're hoping that means that everyone is through clearly.
Yes, looking as though they're starting to exit the pool as we have a look at the replay on screen, and that was one of the fastest first 50s we might see today, although we have 2 more heats yet to come, so we will compare that blistering 24 seconds. It's definitely a statement put down there by the team from Met Caloundra.
And I love that they gave themselves absolutely every opportunity. They were neck and neck with Lukenwald coming into that 150 mark. And Lukenwald, you can see they go deep, they go early there. And it was really that last 50, they really extended their lead. I love that they raced as if this was an A final.
Yeah, just wanting to see what they're capable of. And it's always a little bit of a confidence boost if you can go in with a top qualifying time or a time maybe that will put you on the podium.
Wonderful to see. And those results official now, 135.23, Met Caloundra 138.16. So great racing. This is what we want. 2 heats yet to go. And we can see that the next heat number 2, is on the blocks already. That start list popping up now. So for heat number 2, it's actually going to be Gilly in lane 2, Gillivace Surf Lifesaving Club, Niederolm Warstadt, Northcliffe Maroochydore, and Drayton Valley Lifesavers. So that orange cap from Drayton Valley, that is lane number 6.
Wasting no time at all getting this second heat underway. Looks like the team middle of the field.
Yeah, that's Northcliffe, those maroon caps out in front. Now, we thought Met Caloundra was pretty quick on that first 50. Keen to see what the Northcliffe team split this first 50 in. Oh, another 24.39. But from Alexandra Headlands, I think that was just next to... No, that was Maroochydore, 25.7. So some quick starts.
Very fast, giving everyone an advantage. It's those couple of seconds can really turn into quite a long distance when you've got an underwater swimmer to follow. Nothing separating our first 2 teams as they swim down the pool in this third leg. The team from Northcliffe.
Yeah, Northcliffe and Maroochydore just locked in a battle here, but I really love the work from Drayton Valley. The second swimmer there with the fins on actually came up and did a big butterfly stroke onto the wall. And you are allowed to surface in that lap. You don't have to stay underwater the whole time. Whatever works best, definitely do that. And Northcliffe, a little bit of drama on their clip up there. It looks like he, I don't know if he was checking just to make sure that his patient was there, but probably a great move that he did pause for a moment, because they are still in a fantastic position here, the boys in Northcliffe in lane 4, Maroochydore in lane 5. It's still a race in 2 as they come home. I think we're going to be fine. The touch on the wall, only 0.2 of a second, both 137 there, 137.8 for Maroochydore, 138.9 for Northcliffe. And we see the next teams coming through. Another great finish there. It's going to be in lane 3, Niederolm Warstadt, and from Drayton Valley. Coming through. But Christy, my heart rate spiked on that changeover.
I couldn't really see. We'll take a look at the replay to see if that shows us any clearer as to what happened with that 3rd to 4th changeover. It was like he was maybe unsure that his patient had grabbed hold of the tube, but he was there. He was ready to go, so it didn't cost them too much time. Here are our third swimmers diving into the water. This is the changeover that we are talking about. So you can see the patient there grabs it, and the swimmer from Northcliffe stops clean and then resets. So I'm not too sure, but only losing a fraction of time. We would still think it would be enough to perhaps get them into the A final. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, I think that was probably a smart decision. And the boys at the wall saying, what were you doing? Why did you stop? What was going on there? Having a little bit of a giggle, but they know that they're all through. They're saying it's fine, we're okay. Doesn't look to be any disqualifications there. We'll see the times. Yep, everyone is still in. Maroochydore, Northcliffe, Niederolm, Drayton Valley and Gilly in the mix as well. Christy, great news. We've got one more race to swim. We are nearly about to break for lunch. It's been a solid 3.5 hours of heats racing here. We're loving seeing the best of our youth Interclub competitors in the mix. So here we go for the final 4x50 medley relay. We have got Clifton top of the screen in those bright yellow caps. From Langenberg, we have Germany, Currumbin Beach Vikings in lane 4 with the white caps. Retford and District, they are in the mix there. They've got the pale blue, and Haasewinkel closest to us, bottom of the screen, the final medley relay of the morning.
Yeah, and as we would expect, middle of the screen there, Currumbin Vikings really setting the pace early. Look at Clifton though, top of the screen. They're going to hit first. Unbelievable speed there, Jen. 25, so a little bit slower than some of our other heats. But it was the team from Clifton getting the jump on that changeover ahead of Currumbin.
Yep, we're just watching the boys underwater now. I think there's been a slight lead change. I don't know if Clifton is still there. We'll see how they leave. Oh, it's still very close. Currumbin, Langenberg, and then Clifton. So a battle shaping up here. This is going to be a fantastic final. We still need to get the boys through safely. Currumbin may be a slight edge for now.
Yeah, how was that underwater work from Langenberg? They came from nowhere to almost touch in front. So it's Currumbin with a very narrow lead coming into this third change. It looks clean, it is, so nothing much separating our top two teams. Currumbin, Langenberg, we go across.
Yep, that's Clifton at the top of the screen, still holding on to third position. And on the other side, I want to say that's Retford and District in lane 5, swimming very, very strongly. And the boys looking good at the moment. They've seen the previous heats. They know that they have done everything that they need to do, finishing a time of 140.2 there for Currumbin. It's going to be Langenberg in there, Clifton. And I think all three teams have done enough to be in that A final this afternoon. We'll just wait for any officials' decisions. We're looking for the thumbs up there. So we see Alex Walker, a fantastic swim for him. Have they been told to clean the pool? Have we done enough? Just waiting for that whistle. Yep, there we go. I think that's official, but this was a great changeover, Christy, from that first swimmer into the wall there. But Lukenfeld came through on that underwater work.
Yeah, really, really, you can see just the speed at which that second swimmer to almost put his team in the lead. So from third to equal first on that second leg.
I love watching that big leap off the wall there, and it was Currumbin that came through with the win eventually there, as we see the final results being confirmed there. And a big handshake there between Lukenwald and Currumbin. Some international sportsmanship. Loving to see that. And the results are through. It is official. Currumbin, Langenberg, Clifton, Haasewinkel, and then Retford and District. And as we look ahead to the finals, Lukenwald still 2 seconds clear of the rest of the field from those qualification rounds. Maroochydore in 2, Northcliffe, Met Caloundra, Currumbin, Langenberg, Alex, and then Clifton will be the 8th and final qualifier. So you can see up on screen right now, that will be the A final for the 4x50 medley relay. That will be part of our finals this afternoon. And that wraps up the heats from this morning. So it is now 11:30, just past 11:30 here on the Gold Coast. We will be back for finals at 1 o'clock this afternoon, 1 o'clock for finals. So take a break, grab some lunch, have a think about who you're looking forward to seeing in these finals this afternoon, and we will be back to close out day 2 of the Youth Interclub Championships.